Brett Landman.
The Harbor Hawks are managed by Mitch Caracker.
Ooh.
The Bourne Braves.
Mitch Cracker.
Max Schwartz
Mitch
here with
Caracker.
Graham Nash and
Oh, no, that's very bad body.
2 minutes.
All right, we're here for 2.
Graham Nash and
I was called Giovanni Cuba, though. And my actually has an alternate. They're like one mess.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Baseball returns to the Cape after all 10 teams made the hour-and-a-half-long journey back to Boston to practice in the one and only Fenway Park. Hyannis is on the road again, this time taking on the Bourne Braves, who beat the Harbor Hawks in the opening game of the playoffs just a year ago. A chance at redemption for Hyannis and a chance at establishing dominance for Bourne on the Harbor Hawks network. As we say hello to you, everyone, Graham Nash alongside Max Schwartzberg and Giovanni Collada. Max, this Hyannis team came in with so much momentum, won its first 2 games of the season, but then started to skid. They got a tie. They lost at home to Brewster, so that Fenway Day might have come just in time for this team.
well, just what the doctor ordered, Graham. The Harbor Hawks, they played a streak of 4 games in 4 days. And, of course, the weather's getting warmer. The bodies are starting to ache. Pitchers are getting tired. And we see the loss, the tie, the extra innings tie. So for Hyannis, it's huge for them to have that crucial day off to reset as a group, get a better mindset. You got a couple new guys coming in, couple guys going out, and really get to gel again once more.
And Gio, getting a win here is not going to come easy. Hyannis has not beaten Bourne since August 7th of 2024. That was back in another playoff series, which Bourne would go on to win, actually. So this is going to be a tough matchup. Hyannis is going to have to start quickly.
Yeah, back-to-back playoff meetings between these two squads, and this is a Bourne Braves team that has been to the last 3 Cape Cod Baseball League championships. Scott Landers knows how to win here at Doran Park. They've defended it very well against Hyannis, so a fast start is imperative for bats that have been cold to start virtually every game so far this season, despite the 2-1-1 record that leads the West Division. They have to start fast tonight, Graham.
And it's definitely not going to be easy, seeing that they haven't won at Doran Park, where the Bourne Braves call home, since June 28th, 2022. So the Bats are going to need to start off rapid. They're also going to need to hit well in scoring position, something that hasn't really come easy at the start of this season. And I actually got a chance to ask head coach Mitch Caracker about that before the game. Graham Nash here with manager Mitch Caracker before the game. Coach, coming off a tie at Chatham, but in between that game and this one, you all went down to Fenway Park, took some hits, did some fielding. How's morale heading into this game?
Good. I mean, I think that was a good experience for the guys. They were really excited about it, and you know, coming off of that, you feel like pretty good about yourself, right? And so hopefully they can come out with some energy today.
A big headline for this team is that they've struggled a little bit at bat with runners in scoring position. What are you looking for specifically when there are runners in second and third base?
Just to not change their approach too much. You know, I think maybe maybe that gets in the way, maybe it doesn't. You know, I think early we're just all trying to get our bearings on us a little bit, and guys are still making adjustments to really good arms and using wood, and so you know, hopefully nothing changes and we have a little more success tonight.
Couple new guys in the lineup, still mixing things up. What's the goal with adding those new pieces in at this stage in the season?
Yeah, you know, I think that's kind of part of the league right now. Like, you know, we're going to guys have come in and out, and so I think for the most part, man, those guys did a really good job with that. Yeah. They didn't hit us. Yeah, I think, you know, for the most part, you know, guys are ready to go. I talked to a few guys today of like, oh, this is what the roles are going to be moving forward, and I think we're going to handle it real well.
Graham Nash, Mitch Carricker, avoided by the turtle, thankfully. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys. Hyannis 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position at home against Brewster, 1 for 5 against Harwich at home as well. But, Max, they picked things up on the road at Chatham, went 4 for 8, so it seems like this team taking their normal approach to those at-bats has started to work.
Well, it comes down to situational hitting, Graham, putting yourself in a position to succeed. And, of course, Hyannis, they did do that in the Brewster game, but they did not convert. They went 0 for 4, but then you come to Chatham, you go down early, 0-5, and they're able to come back. That shows a lot about the resilience of this team that Mitch Carricker has, and especially moving forward. They have the momentum in their favor in those crucial hitting situations.
Gio, Coach Carricker also going with a couple new faces. Still feels like he needs to get more guys more chances and just trying to find the glue that is going to help this team and this lineup stick.
Well, he thinks it's going to come with Jackson Willits and Jason Walk, a couple of Oklahoma teammates, both switch hitters. Willits, the shortstop tonight, batting second. Walk batting eighth and playing center field, and an infusion of new of novelty is what the Cape Cod Baseball League is all about. How do you manage getting new players into the fold virtually every single day at sometimes during the stretch of the season when the MLB draft comes up in July? And this is an early taste and rather early test of it for Hyannis and Coach Carricker.
Before the game, the fourth member of our crew, Ava Fernandez, was able to catch up with one Jason Walk.
Coming in?
It was good, a good experience with the guys, you know, just talking to them, bonding a little bit for the rest of the summer.
Yeah. And what are you expecting to bring today to the plate?
A lot of energy, some speed, just some juice, hopefully.
First day on the Cape playing here, and what are you hoping to get from playing at this level this summer?
A lot of good reps against good competition. You know, this is the best league for a reason. This is what we came for.
And what can we see from the plate tonight?
Like I said, energy, tone set, spark plug, whatever you want to call it.
Thank you. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Ava. We'll be right back on the Harbor Hawks Network.
I think, Dean, they're allowing you to find your own success and your own true independence.
Dean is a whole group of all different kinds of people and communities.
Since I've come to Dean, I've learned a lot of time management skills.
Our community is especially tight-knit, and the majority of our students live on campus. And you are guaranteed 4 years of housing while you attend Dean.
Dean is just full of opportunities for you to embrace, to welcome, so you can change yourself to who you want to be and form your career for the future.
So go through that, all right? Think that way.
Be a bulldog. Have a bulldog mentality in everything you do in life, whether you're playing sports or in the classroom or just socializing around campus.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Back at Doran Park, Hyannis and Bourne ready to face off. Here is the defensive alignment for the Bourne Braves. From left to right in the outfield, it's Logan Hughes, John LeGrand, and Braden Holcomb. In the infield, Cade Lewis and Weber Niels are on the corners with Riker Waite and Bryce Molinaro up the middle. Campbell Smithwick is behind the plate for one Noah Franco. Noah Franco, a two-way player from Texas Christian University, hit a 7.30 ERA, but a little bit inflated. He had two appearances that weren't his best. If you take away those, we were told he's got a sub-2 ERA over the season, so this guy can really pitch it.
This is a really impressive player, a lefty out of TCU. He was the all-Big 12 first-team DH, and so that just shows to show you his prowess at the plate, folks. He's not thrown too many appearances, Graham, as you said. That ERA somewhat inflated for what it probably should be for Noah Franco, or that's at least what he feels. But a chance on Cape Cod to bolster that pitching resume, and that's exactly what this league is for, to get better at things you might not be able to during a college season if you're a baseball player.
Yeah, definitely the high ERA, but you want to look at the stuff. 13.1 strikeouts per 9 in that 12 1/3 innings. Of course, the walks per 9 high at 6.6. But yes, Graham, you take away those couple outings, he was dominant, he was elite. You know this is a talented pitcher on the mound with some swing and miss stuff.
The lineup that he's going to face for Hyannis, Matt Mura leads off for the third time this season, with Jackson Willits behind him for the first time in a Harbor Hawk uniform. Then Andrew Williamson, of course, in that third place spot where he has been living in this 2025 season. Ray Velasquez, Miles Bailey, and Chris Rembert make up the middle three, with Vaughn Lackey, a new Jason Walk, and Jake Schaffner making up the bottom of the order. Umpires for today's contest, Will Bowers is behind home plate with J.C. Fernandez over at first, and Connor Tierney at third base. It's a warm one, folks. The first time that we can say that this summer on the Cape. 77 degrees with wind blowing steadily at about 13 miles per hour. It can gust right now up to 28, and it's going straight from home plate out to center field. So, Max, we've talked about how at a lot of these ballparks, the ball hasn't really flown, but there's potential for it to soar a little bit more tonight.
Well, absolutely, Graham. And then you look around the ballpark, the fences here very, very short, but don't let that deceive you. This is actually one of the bigger ballparks on Cape Cod, but the wind is a big factor, especially with it blowing out. We were watching in batting practice the way the ball was going, and it was carrying a little bit out to that right center field area. So definitely a park that might play a little bit smaller this evening.
Gio, something you talked about in our open was how the leadoff batters have struggled through the first 4 games. They're 8 for 30, 6 walks and 7 strikeouts in the leadoff position. Starting to improve. They were 5 for 10 in their last game at Chatham, but still, for Matt Mura, and then you look down the list, Ray Velasquez, potentially Von Lackey, they've got a tall task on their hands.
Well, you've got an infusion of novelty, as I mentioned earlier, with Jackson Willits slotting in the 2 spot playing shortstop. Williamson and Velasquez are always threats to leave the ballpark. Mura's the name that I circled, Graham, because he has delivered some clutch hits for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks this year. He had that 2 RBI single in the 8th against Wareham. Of course, the go-ahead RBI single against Chatham in the 7-7 tie. He could be the spark plug for this top 4 as we begin the game here at Doran Park.
He's going to try to be a spark right off the bat. Upstairs, looked like a fastball. Hyannis in their burnt orange jerseys with gray pants and a royal blue helmet going up against the Bourne Braves in all white with a red cap. Second pitch. Hit well high, kind of coming back towards us. It's going to stay in the shallow foul territory, and it's missed. Campbell Smithwick, the catcher, misjudged it.
That is a ball getting caught up in the wind tunnel. You see it comes back because of the backspin. It was off to the right side on the first base line, and then it just kept curling back towards the line, and it gives Matt Mura another life.
Matt Mura taking what he would like to be his 13th at-bat of the season. He's got a .250 average, 250 flat to start the season. Coming off an 0-for-2 performance against Brewster. Makes contact, sends it into left field. Leadoff single for the left fielder, Matt Mura. And the bats pick up where they left off. That's with some pretty good leadoff hitting.
And Mura sees a pitch he likes right over the center of the zone. And when he's been a solid contact hitter this year, Graham, when he hasn't worked a walk-in, foregone the at-bat. And we've seen the clutch hitting on display, maybe not in the same clutch spot, but that's a similar piece of hitting to what we're used to from Matt Mura.
Well, this has the makings of being a very high-scoring game. The Braves, the 9th worst ERA, or excuse me, the 2nd worst, 9th flat ERA in the league at 4.22. As Jackson Willits takes a strike, the runner goes to second and slides in safely. Matt Mura is in scoring position, and right away, a chance for a hit with a runner in scoring position.
And this goes back to what we were talking about in the pregame show. Of course, Hyannis, before the Chatham game, struggling with runners in scoring position. But look what we have right here. Matt Mura putting the Harbor Hawks in a position to succeed.
Jackson Willits, rising sophomore at the University of Oklahoma, tied for 2nd in hits, tied for 4th in doubles during his season. He fouls one off during the right side. Had the 2nd best batting average at .302, the 3rd best on base percentage at .409. But he did have some trouble with strikeouts, 3rd most at 51. But he drew the 3rd most walks as well at 39. See what he can do here. 1-1 pitch. Skips in, gets by. Matt Mura's off to 3rd. And he gets there standing up. 190 feet away for Hyannis. And it's only the 2nd batter in the lineup up.
Well, these are the sorts of things, if you're Hyannis, that will erase a couple of games where the top 4 in the lineup, especially early on, have not produced. You have a stolen base, a passed ball. Maybe Bourne gives you another freebie here. It could be 1-0 rather quickly.
Jackson Willits with a 2-1 count. Facing Noah Franco, left-handed pitcher. Willits, switch hitter in the righty's box now. The pitch. Knocked back up the middle, charging, wait, dives, stops it, but he can't make a play at first. Matt Mura is already home. There's a runner aboard and a runner in for Hyannis. It's 1-0.
That's how you manufacture a run. The leadoff single gets to 2nd on the stolen base. Nice wild pitch, and just like that, the ball does not leave the infield. It is another single, but that's the only reason they're scoring, the stolen base.
Well, to go along with the Braves' 2nd worst ERA in the league, Hyannis has the third best batting average at .224 through 4 games. So a recipe for a nightmare for the Bourne Braves. Check over at first base, and Willits is back in plenty of time. It's Andrew Williamson who is now up at the plate. The strong left-hander in the lefty v lefty matchup, coming off an 0-for-3 performance at home against Brewster, or excuse me, on the road against Chatham. Swings at the first pitch, hits it through the gap in the right side. Runners advance 1 base each. 3 singles in a row for the Harbor Hawks. They are rolling.
You got to love the first pitch aggression for Williamson. Saw a pitch he likes. There has been some wildness in the zone, but he doesn't care. If he sees one in the zone, you know he's hunting his pitch, deposits that fastball in the right field.
Brings up Ray Velasquez. He is DHing in today's baseball game. Velasquez, 5th best average in the league through 4 games at 400. First pitch in the dirt. A good stop from can advance. Such a threat to have your 4th best guy, which you would assume would have the best average, to also have the 5th best on-base percentage in the league at 500.
479 on base this past year at Austin Peay.
He's got a 1-0 count with a runner on second and a runner on first. Franco delivers upstairs and away, ball 2. So many threats for Hyannis at home plate. That's been the story of the season. They've had some trouble getting them going early, but they have shot out of a cannon tonight in Bourne. No outs on the scoreboard. 2-0 pitch taken outside. 3 straight balls to Ray Velasquez, which he will take gladly.
Be curious to see how Noah Franco responds from this. Of course, springs for the TCU Horned Frog, a 2-way player. See how he navigates this from the bump.
No outs on the scoreboard. 3-0. Catches the lower half of the zone. Velasquez looked like he was about ready to toss his bat and trot over to first base. Top of the first inning, Hyannis already leads 1-0 over the Bourne Braves. Matt Mura got himself on first, stole second, and then a wild pitch moved him to third for Jackson Willits to bring him home. 3-1. In by the feet. It's a 5-pitch walk, and the bases are loaded.
We're already starting to see some of that wildness that he had at TCU. We mentioned in the pregame a 6.6 walks per 9. While that is the first walk of the day, this is just showcasing the wildness outside the zone and wildness inside the zone.
The last start that Noah Franco had back on March 30th at Houston, he only pitched for a third of an inning, allowed 2 hits, 4 runs, which were earned, walked 1, and struck out none. Guys, this has the makings of being a very similar start for the 2-way player. So, Max, he's got to lock right back in. How do you make an adjustment at this point in the game?
Well, you could say it's mechanical, you could say it's mental, but right now it just looks like he does not have command over the fastball. And if you don't have command over your first pitch, you're going to have a lot of trouble working off the other pitches as your opportunity to fill up the zone, and we're seeing that here. Can't have that right pitch they can get.
Locks into an at-bat with Miles Bailey. Bailey 1 for 5 at Chatham. Lays off a first pitch that's in the dirt. Runners stay where they are. Smithwick did a really good job of staying in front of it.
And how about the tall task that faces, yes, we've talked about Noah Franco being in a very bad spot right now, but Miles Bailey doesn't make that any easier.
Bailey makes contact with the 1-0. It's staying in foul territory. 2 Braves over to try and make a play. They can't do so. It's on their dugout. So 1 ball and 1 strike to the hard-hitting left-hander. Coming off that 1 for 5 performance at Chatham. Had a home run that was mashed. He had 2 that had a chance to go. One of them was about a foot short of going. The other one did. Starting to find his power. He struggled, though, with the strikeout numbers. 1-1 pitch with the bases loaded. He swings through it.
Here's that fastball, and we talked about pregame with some of the other broadcasters. It's known to top out at around 98. A challenge pitch right there. You know, he's not having the zone. He challenges him down the middle, and he gets a swing and miss.
1-2 pitch. Inside and high, make it deuces wild. 1 run on the scoreboard already for Hyannis in the top of the first. It's a 2-2 count to Miles Bailey in the 5 spot with the bases loaded for Hyannis. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt, and a good block from Smithwick. Jackson Willett's got a really good jump and could have come home.
Just a couple paces off the infield dirt, or infield grass rather, and Willett's might have been plated had Smithwick had to charge to the backstop for that one.
Miles Bailey, the second most RBIs in the league through 4 games with 5. 3-2. Nails it up the middle. A great grab from the shortstop, and they can't double up. It was close. Riker Waite made a great effort to turn that into 2, but it goes down as 1 out.
And the couth from Ray Velasquez to get back in time and not make 2 outs with being doubled off there. That gives Chris Rembert a chance with 1 out here and the bases juiced.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Your instinct as a runner when they hit it that hard is to move, but he did the right thing in freezing.
He got a great jump off first, too.
Brings up Chris Rembert. He hits the first pitch to center field. LeGrand was cheating to the right. It's short, hops over the wall. It's called a ground rule double, despite the cheers to our right of it being a home run. Chris Rembert absolutely mashes one. He was 1 for 5 in the game against Chatham. That's going to go down as his first multi-base hit of the season.
That all comes down to LeGrand's positioning in center field. He shaded a bit to right off the flag in right center at the 395 mark.
First pitch, low away to Von Lackey.
And Rembert hits it right into the alley, a perfect position, hops over the wall. And now 2 more across for Hyannis in an explosion of a first inning.
And correction, it was a strike, just cut the zone. Lackey now chops one to the left side. Great save from Waite. Tries to make the throw at first, and he got it in time. All-star play from the shortstop, and a huge second out in the top of the first.
That is an incredible play, folks. The infield was in. He had his momentum going against the grain, threw against his body, and a nice pick on the backhand by Niels at first. Saves a run.
Max, I looked over at you after that play. Your jaw was on the table.
I mean, as a former infielder, just knowing how difficult it is with the infielding, that's so tough.
First pitch is away to Jason Walk. Jason Walk making his first plate appearance of the 2025 Cape League season. Rising junior at the University of Oklahoma. Second pitch in the dirt. He had a .267 average over 59 games played. Hit 13 doubles, 3 triples, and 9 home runs. He had a double and a home run over his last 2 contests, both of which came against UNC. As he lays off the 2-0, it's outside. He's been here for a while now, taking BP, just hasn't really been activated, but his swing has looked really good.
A smooth swing back and through.
3-0, and that one finds the zone.
I noticed watching batting practice, I really like how quick his hands are. You know, hips are quick, hands are quick, so he gets to a lot of baseballs, especially with the velocity, power versus power matchup at the plate.
He's got a green light now, 3-1 pitch. Hits it to the right side, ball for Molinaro, and he makes the play over at first. Hyannis gets 3 in the top of the first inning. They also strand 2 ducks on the pond. They were 1 away from batting around. The bats are there. Is the pitching? We'll find out when we come back.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark. Break the mold. Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Hyannis already leads 3-0 going into the bottom of the first inning. Here's their defensive alignment from left to right in the outfield. It's Matt Mura, Jason Walk, and Andrew Williamson. Same thing, left to right in the infield. Jake Schaffner, Jackson Willits, Chris Rembert, and Miles Bailey, with Von Lackey back catching for Brett Landman. Landman, the only pitcher that Hyannis has not put up on the bump in the 2025 summer season. He is a rising junior at Abilene Christian University. 6.25 ERA over 15 starts. All of his appearances were starts. He pitched 72 flat innings, walked 34, struck out 84. He's good for anywhere between 3 and 6 innings, but he did pitch a complete game against Grand Canyon University on March 22nd, so you really don't know how long this guy can go for until he starts.
He's got a great fastball, comes in mid-90s, what we've heard this week, and for Brett Landman, how about that complete game stat? That's the thing that really excites Hyannis pitching, or rather the Hyannis coaching staff about Landman. How about 103 pitches in that outing? So he's got the length, Graham, and if he can tame a Bourne Braves lineup that's struggled with runners in scoring position, 3 runs could be enough.
And here's the line in case you were curious. 9 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, which was unearned. No walks in 7 Ks over, like you said, Gio, 103 pitches. That is phenomenal.
You just don't see that in college baseball anymore, except from Arkansas's Gage Wood, 19 strikeout no-hitter in Omaha.
You just don't see it in baseball much anymore.
Right.
The ways that pitchers are always exiting in the 5th inning, it's just so impressive to see those numbers.
The Bourne Braves starting with a DH. It's Peyton Bonds, followed by John LeGrand and Cade Lewis. The middle 3, Braden Holcomb, Logan Hughes, Weber Niels, and then Campbell Smithwick. Bryce, Molinaro, and Riker Waite make up the batting order. Had some issues with Von Lackey's catching gear, but looks all good. He's got the sunglasses on, is ready to lock into the first at bat. Brett Landman having to wait a little bit longer than I'm sure he would have hoped to throw his first pitch of the 2025 Cape League summer. And here it comes. It's a ball just low and out of the zone.
Peyton Bonds, the nephew of MLB should-be Hall of Famer Barry Bonds.
Wow. 1-0. That's low in the dirt. Peyton Bonds, this is his first appearance at the plate of the Cape League summer. He pinch hit in the last game against Brewster, but he's making his first appearance now. The pitch. Fouled off behind us to the right. Going into his junior year at Rutgers, one of few Big Teners that we have run into so far this season. He had a 300 flat batting average, 67 hits, 10 doubles. And the 2-1, just above the zone.
Let's see if he's got his uncle's power. Of course, that's a tall order for anybody, much less Barry's nephew.
He's got a 3-1 count in the leadoff spot. Hits one to left center field, trying to die. Jason Walk can't get there. It's a home run. It's called a home run. It looked like it was a hop over, a ground rule double, like it was in the top of the first inning for Chris Rembert.
And Jason Walk is pleading his case. It was the first base umpire, J.C. Fernandez, making the call. A very similar ball to Rembert's.
That ball absolutely bounced. And we're not even trying to be biased here. I mean, from what I saw.
Mitch Carricker is as frustrated and confused as we are, talking right now to Connor Tierney. And he's going to go back to the dugout. The umpires are going to meet and talk about it. I agree with you, Max. It looked like it bounced.
I mean,
but
it looked no different than Rembert's, like what Gio said.
If anything, excuse me, Rembert's was to a deeper part of the ballpark.
It's so tough because the fence out there in the outfield is so short, and it's also a clear fence. You can see right through
It's
it.
all about depth perception, especially.
That's going to probably be the hardest
because
task
the call
tonight.
on the field was a home run, it's probably going to be harder to overturn, which is a problem for Hyannis.
And now they're going to go over
here we
talk
go.
To
the dugout.
Scott Landers, I imagine this
might
would
not
be
good
to.
news.
Still no word, but it does look like they might be overturning. I don't know why else they would go to talk.
You
All right.
Fan? Bourne
Well,
fan? He's a Bourne fan too.
So they're still talking to the head coach. He looks pretty frustrated at this point. So I'm thinking they might overturn this, right? Such an odd situation.
The reason I bring up the similarities to Rembert's ball, obviously, because they both bounced, but if Rembert's was to a deeper part of the ballpark and that bounced, the fact that his bounced anyway would mean it's a ground rule double.
And that it is. They turn it into a ground rule double. And now the Bourne fans, very unhappy, as you might guess. Well, Gio, I think you just answered your question. Does he have the same power as his uncle?
Not quite today, but on that
swing, but it was close to it.
And Coach Landers very upset.
Landers now coming to home plate umpire Will Bowers to plead his case again. He talked to both Tierney and Fernandez. And Von Lackey, Lackey's practicing either his baseball or golf swing. It's hard for me to tell. I might be a little biased. But managers are now back in their respective dugouts. We're going to play ball, and John LeGrand is going to come up to the plate. Well, regardless of what that hit is called, whether a home run or ground rule double, it's a hot start for the bats on both sides. Hyannis had 3 straight singles to start the top of the first. Peyton Bonds hits a nuke of a ground rule double to lead off for his team.
A track meet.
John LeGrand, the lefty, facing Landman, the righty. Landman delivers. Nailed to the right side. Andrew Williamson sets underneath it and makes the catch. Runner is going to tag. Peyton Bonds slides in. The throw just late, but a huge throw from Williamson.
I was about to say, is that Aaron Judge in right field or Andrew Williamson? We've asked that question for more reasons than one, given his prowess at the plate, but that was a hose from right field. The deepest part of it at that from Andrew Williamson. He continues to impress.
Trying to show that he's not one you should take off on. He's got an arm like an Aaron Judge, like a Fernando Tatis Jr. over in right field. This guy can straight up play ball. Cade Lewis steps into the lefty's box as well. 1 out on the scoreboard and a runner 90 feet away. Swings through the first pitch. Well late on that first one from Landman.
Beautiful slider right there, right over the top of the head. And you could see it started on the inside corner, so he thinks it's going to go right into the barrel, but the drop on it is what made the difference.
Landman set, fires the 0-1. Breaking ball catches the low half of the zone.
There it is again.
Cade Lewis on a 4-game hit streak, 4-game on-base streak. One of 2 players for Bourne to get a hit in every game that he's played this season. It's the 0-2. Hit back up the middle, and he's got a 5th hit in 5 games. The runner comes home, make it a 3-1 ball game in favor of Hyannis, and there's still only 1 out with a runner on first base.
Yeah, just testing his luck with that slider. He tripled up on it, and that time Lewis was ready. Left it a little bit too high over the plate. Not a bad idea, but on the 0-2, you don't want that to be right in the zone.
Braden Holcomb comes up to the plate. He's gotten on base in all 4 contests, but did not get a hit at Brewster in their last game. 0 for 3 with a walk and an RBI. Season average below 200 at this point, so he's had a little bit of a colder start, but has played in all 4 games for the Braves. The righty steps into the box. He's got a runner over at first and a 2-run deficit for his Braves in the bottom of the first inning. Landman fires in the dirt.
Just like we saw Noah Franco try to shake the poor start to the game. Be interesting to see how Brett Landman takes the bonanza of the first batter behind him as he tries to navigate the Bourne lineup.
It's a 1-0 count to Holcomb. He fires. Fouled back. Von Lackey looked like he might have gotten hit with either the bat or the ball, but he is totally fine. Just reached right back to Will Bowers behind home plate, asked for another ball, and he is locked back into the 1-1 pitch. 1 out, runner over on first base. Peyton Bonds came across home just a moment ago. Landman waiting a while for Holcomb to get into the box. We've seen a couple pitch clock violations already, but none called on the batter. Landman looks, fires, check swing right down the heart. That time a beautiful breaking ball.
Yeah, back door with the slider right there. Started it outside off the plate, comes right back down the heart of the plate. Wouldn't be surprised if he tries to play off that with the fastball up and away.
It's a 1-2 count with 1 out to the right fielder, Braden Holcomb. He's got Cade Lewis, the third baseman, over at first in a 3-1 deficit. The pitch swung through and missed the fastball. 2 outs. And Max, you're on fire.
Sorry, I was just taking credit for my work. Or did I not just say that, or did I not just say that?
You did just say that.
Thank you, Graham.
Taking credit for your work. I like it. Well deserved. That was a very good call.
Or maybe Brent Landman's got a mic connected to the broadcast, taking advice.
You never know. 2 out. Logan Hughes, as our producer Daniel Bottolino ensures us that he does not have a microphone to our broadcast. Hughes 1 for 3 at Brewster on a 2-game on-base streak, playing in all 4 games this season. Fouls it off right back. 214 average for the left-hander. As we've got another race to the ball for the ball boys. Hyannis's ball boys are aggressive. They go for those foul balls.
Full slide this time.
Yeah.
Just a bit late.
0-1 count. Runner on first. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. 3-1 Hyannis. Chopper up the middle. Shortstop makes the play. The throw in time and saved by Miles Bailey. Jackson Willits makes his first fielding play for Hyannis in 2025, and it's very well done. One comes through for the Braves, but Hyannis still leads 3-1.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Top of the second inning, Hyannis leads 3-1 over the Bourne Braves. Some freaky symmetry for both sides through the first 4 games. Hyannis was 4-0 through 4 games last year in a pretty similar schedule. They're 2-1-1 now. They shut out Falmouth in the season opener 10-0, beat Harwich that time on the road. This year they beat them at home. Then beat Brewster at home. This year they lost. And then shut out Chatham at home. This year they tied. Interestingly, in Game 5 of last year, they tied Bourne on the road 6-6. That was one of 2 games that they tied the Braves in 2024. They came out firing the first inning, though. Exactly what we said they needed to do, Gio.
Right. It's as if, I mean, talk about microphones on the broadcast. It's as if they heard what we said and put that into action. More clutch hitting from Matt Mura, although it wasn't as pressureful a situation as in the past.
Jake Schaffner takes a ball upstairs.
And really impressed with what we saw from Willits. Andrew Williamson delivering as always. And Velasquez working a walk. That's another hallmark of this team, is they're going to be disciplined at the plate.
Schaffner swings on the second pitch, grounder to the right side. Great save by Niels. The race to first base is won by Noah Franco. The pitcher covers just in time to get the leadoff batter, and that sends it back to the top of the order. Already the second time through for Hyannis, seeing Noah Franco. That is going to benefit these hitters a lot, Max.
Absolutely, especially with a guy who's got stuff like this. You know, he's got the high fastball, the wipeout slider. If you have more at-bats to your name earlier in the game, that's only going to be putting yourself more in the driver's seat.
Matt Mura singled in his first plate appearance to lead off the ball game. He was the first to come across home plate, and he takes a ball outside. Talked about how this team has struggled leading off, but Matt Mura said, I'm going to change that right here, right now. Gets himself on base with ease. Going to try to do just that again. Mura, chopper down the third baseline, and they call foul. Looked like it had stayed fair, but I guess it went right down at home plate.
It calls that it hit off his leg, but what's interesting is that he ran right away. I would assume, because, you know, it's a dead ball.
And Mura tried to sell it.
Because he thought he could beat it out, I suppose.
Well, he's got to head back to home plate with a 1-1 count.
I mean, you can kind of see him wincing as he walks back, so I would assume that the ball did strike his front calf or something.
Look at this. Campbell Smithwick stood his bat up on home plate. He balanced it,
Beautiful.
Just ready for him to walk. I've never seen that.
How courteous.
Yeah.
I've seen this one clip where this guy bat flipped and like it was a 1 in a million. The bat somehow hit the ground and then stood up straight.
Oh, I've seen
It
that.
landed?
Seen that?
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
A little water
Was it an
bottle
MLB
flip.
or college?
No, it's just like some.
It was like
random
high school.
YouTuber or
Yeah.
something.
Wow.
It's a 1-1 count with 1 out to Matt Mura. And it gets well away. Hits the backstop.
Was it Coach Kent Murphy or someone like that?
It was not Coach Kent Murphy, but you know he hits dingers.
Baseball fans, yeah, right. That was.
Never
I'm
bunt,
glad.
kids.
I'm
Never
glad.
bunt.
I'm glad someone got that.
Matt Mura 2 for 5 at Chatham with a run and an RBI. His best hitting performance by far. Takes a strike, make it a 2-2 count with 1 out. Mura 0 for 2 against Brewster in the game before, but still managed to get on base in every game. He's working a 24 on base streak, stretching all the way back to his collegiate season. He fouls off the 2-2. He's going to do it again.
And I like the aggression we saw from Mura in that first at-bat. There was a bit of a stretch from the Wareham game to the Brewster game. Of course, that's only one game, but include the back end of the Wareham game, where he's pretty conservative at the plate.
The pitch gets away. It goes full.
And so it was nice to see him be more aggressive, like Miles Bailey talks about, that Hyannis' hitters are going to be aggressive when they can be. But that also pertains to walks, not taking anything the pitcher won't give you, and understanding that being on base is more important than swinging at pitches.
Payoff. Outside, Mura goes to first for the second time in this ball game, this time via the walk. It's still a 3-1 lead for Hyannis. Top of the second inning, Matt Mura was the first one to start the ambush of Bourne, on Bourne, and now he's over at first base. I was going to say, I feel like the ambush tactic has worked very well for Hyannis through 4 games. When they come out aggressive, feels like they make a lot of contact.
Attack mode's got 6 Harbor Hawks on base through not even 2 innings.
Jackson Willits doesn't see a pitch. There's a check over at Matt Mura. Noah Franco a lefty, so he could have some success with those pickoff attempts over at first base. Willits singled in his first plate appearance of the summer. He also was brought around by one Ray Velasquez. Another check over. 2 straight disengagements. Again, no disengagement rule. So Franco can do that as many times as he'd like, especially you'll see it when he's late in the pitch clock.
We saw Harbor Hawk picked off against Chatham, Ray Velasquez, in the second inning against the A's. So Hawks got to be careful on the base paths.
1 out, top of the second, and Willits fouls off the 0-1.
Love the first pitch aggression from the Hawks, kind of what we're talking about. In that first inning alone, 2 hits on the first pitch of an at-bat. And you want to see, with a guy like this who's struggling to find the zone, you might only get a couple pitches in any at-bat that you can really drive, and they're taking advantage if they see it early.
Willits steps back in, the right-hander facing the lefty on the mound, Noah Franco. 0-1 count. Hit up the right side, it gets past Weber Niels. The first baseman can't get it, it's in the shallow outfield, just now picked up by Holcomb. And man, Willits got halfway to second and then backed it up, but he did move Matt Mura all the way over to third. So runners on the corners with only 1 out, and Hyannis still has a 2-run lead in the top of the second.
For a top of an order that we said coming into this game was struggling in the sense that they weren't getting hot until the late innings. How about Mura single walk, Willits single, and the 7th base runner for the Harbor Hawks here with 1.1 innings.
And Andrew Williamson, he singled. His first time around, the first 3 have all gotten hits, with Jackson Willits getting 2. Williamson doesn't see a pitch because there's a check over at Jackson Willits. Like you said, Max, that break, that Fenway day might have been just what this team needed. It's a quick start to the season, man. You're thrown right in. You get here maybe 2 days before opening day, so the break probably felt great. First pitch, Williamson swung right over a breaking ball.
And for some of these guys, that follows up a visit to Omaha or just one of the regionals for the Oklahoma guys. Walk and Willits, that was a regional against North Carolina, a series it eventually lost to the Diamond Heels.
How about the NCAA baseball action we've been seeing recently? Some of the best baseball you can watch. 0-1 pitch, check over again at Willits. That's 4 in the last 2 at-bats. Saw heartbreak for Arkansas after a once-in-a-lifetime performance. No-hitter, 18 Ks. And then a fielding error leads to their downfall. That's why we love college baseball. Andrew Williamson with an 0-1 count, 1 outs and runners on the corners, and a third straight check over at Jackson Willits. Franco very unsettled.
If he's going to start pitching, this is something he needs to learn, that eventually, you know, the more pickoffs you can get, it's just going to throw off your rhythm. Just throw the ball.
Still 1-0, or excuse me, 0-1 to Williamson. And now he finally sees a second pitch. It's in the dirt.
We mentioned with the pitch clock and the non-disengagement rule that a lot of the times, in Gio, it's to your point, pitchers will just throw over because they're not simply ready to go to the plate. But as you mentioned, this guy wants to pitch at the next level, i.e. minor leagues, majors. He can't do that anymore.
It's 1-1 to Williamson. Runners on the corners and 1 out. Makes contact, skies it, trying to go foul, and it will. The Braves didn't really make an effort to go over and get it. Saw it drifting quickly, and the wind couldn't keep it in play. So it's a long strike for the lefty right fielder. Williamson swings a big bat. I asked him before the Chatham game if he's ever experimented with one of those pucks that a lot of guys are using to make it feel like a metal bat. He said it physically can't fit on the knob of his bat because it's too big. And a fourth check over at Jackson Willits.
And as I look at Williamson's bat again as he steps out of the box, you can see that the butt of that bat is huge.
It's huge.
It almost looks like there's a puck on there.
Yeah. He just swings a hard bat. And he's trying to deliver right now for a second straight inning. 3-1 Hyannis, the 1-2. Bounces in, another good stop from Smithwick.
Yeah, and Smithwick's gotten very good at that. He was here on Cape Cod with Chatham last summer. Early on in the season, a couple pass balls in those first 5 games, but he locked it up for Jeremy Scheetinger and Eric Beatty as the season went on, and clearly he's gotten better at that in Oxford this year.
2-2. Swung on top of and missed. Andrew Williamson goes back empty. There is the first K, actually, for the Hyannis batting order. The second out in the top of the second.
There's that wipeout slider. He started it right over the heart of the plate, and it just darted below the zone, especially on a left-on-left matchup. It's so hard to recognize.
Ray Velasquez, the only batter in the top 4 to have not gotten a hit in that first inning, but he got a walk. So it's not like he was slacking. He still got himself over to first base, moved all the way to third when Chris Rembert hit that ground rule double. But Von Lackey and Jason Walk couldn't bring him home. Runner goes on the first pitch, and a slipped throw from Smithwick. I think he tried not to throw it and then let go of it at the last minute. It went straight down into the ground and bounced in front of him.
The indecisiveness going to cost him a chance at Willits there. It wasn't the best jump we've seen this season from a Hyannis Harbor Hawk, but it's the second stolen base of the game as Smithwick spikes it straight into the ground.
Can safely say I've never seen that before. The pitch fouled off down the right side. Ray Velasquez has an 0-2 count early. 2 outs in the top of the third inning. Hyannis leads 3-1. Jackson Willits now at second base after stealing, and Matt Mura still at third. 2 in scoring position. 0-2. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. We're down the first base line a little bit, so we've got a good vantage point. Righty check swing. From my angle, it looked like he did not go. It looked like that bat was still...
It was very close.
It was very close.
It could have gone either way.
In that buffer zone. So it's 1-2, the first ball of the at-bat for Ray Velasquez. The righty takes a ball outside.
That's a similar mechanical miss. We've been seeing that a lot this inning with the fastball and the breaking ball up and away to the right-handed hitter. And it looks like Franco just not able to find the adjustment he needs.
Franco, the two-way player, trying to get the bats back up, and he does. 2-2 fastball gets Ray Velasquez down swinging. Back-to-back Ks to end the inning and prevent any damage from popping up on that scoreboard. Matt Mura and Jackson Willits were both in scoring position, but Franco gets it done. Hyannis leads 3-1.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. so you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Brett Landman still on the mound in the bottom of the second inning. He allowed 1 run. That was Peyton Bonds in the bottom of the first. Bonds hit a argumentative ground rule double, one that was made by the coaching staff of the Bourne Braves. Thought it was a home run. It was originally called a home run, and then wiped away, called a ground rule double. Cade Lewis was still able to bring him around. So it's 6, 7, 8 due up for the Braves against Landman, who allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in 8 appearances this season. Pitched 15 times. Didn't allow more than 2 earned runs in each of his first 4 appearances to start the season. But as that middle of the season comes around and you start to feel a little tired and you don't feel quite like yourself, sometimes those numbers start to increase. That seems to be exactly what happened for him at Abilene Christian. Weber Niels steps into the right-hander's box for the first time. Landman throws one in the dirt, ball 1. Niels making his 4th start in 2025 for the Braves, a .333 average with 4 hits and a double. 1-0 bounces in.
There's 2 misses in a similar location. First one with either a fastball or changeup. That one with that slider. So it's on multiple pitches. Going to try to make the adjustment right here behind 2-0.
Niels takes a strike. Kind of hitched like he was going to go and then laid off. Make it a 2-1 count. When Peyton Bonds came up, we said that we'd seen very few big tenors. We've got a second in the lineup for the Bourne Braves. Niels, a rising senior at Minnesota. And he cranks one down the left field line, but it's well foul. A couple fans flinching over behind the net. It was hit well hard. Niels coming off a 2025 where he had a .284 average. Had 48 hits, 15 home runs, 38 RBIs. Hitting in the 6th spot today. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Landman fans Niels 2 Ks in the first 2 innings for the left-hander.
There's a straight challenge fastball down the heart of the plate. Landman, beautiful pitch.
Brings up the opposing team's catcher, Campbell Smithwick. Rising junior at Ole Miss. A lot of Ole Miss players between these 2 teams.
Teammates with Federico.
That's right. Who is not in the lineup today, interestingly. First pitch. Strike on the low half of the zone. Federico, a good example of, how important it is to move the lineup around. He's been playing very well, but still, manager Mitch Carricker decided to give someone else a shot. Sure, he'll be back in the lineup in no time. 0-1, bounces in the dirt.
And Coach Carricker said many times, Graham, that it's not just people getting opportunities for the sake of getting opportunities. They're going to play places where they haven't played before to get comfortable with those spots. Should a college coach ask them to do the same at school?
Smithwick has a 1-1 count with 1 out, no one on. And he takes a ball low.
And go ahead, Max.
I was just going to say it also shows a lot about the versatility of the Harbor Hawks this early in the summer.
Precisely, but it's got to be great for a player to get that experience, too, to try their hands at so many different things.
2-1 pitch coming. And that one's also down in the dirt.
And then sell yourself at multiple different positions to MLB scouts. Not only can I, for Hayden Federico, not only can I play the infield, I can play the outfield. I can DH. I could play first if you needed me to. That's what the Cape League does, and what's part of why it's so great.
3-1. Fought off down the left side, trying to stay fair, and it goes over the net. So full count for Campbell Smithwick, who's played in 2 of 4 games this season, has had a hit in both. Last game he played was against Brewster before that Fenway day we were talking about, which was yesterday. Went 1 for 4 And no extracurriculars, no RBIs, no runs, no stolen bases. Playing in his third straight for the Braves. Full count. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back Ks and 3 strikeouts in the last 4 batters for Brett Landman.
How comfortable does Brett Landman look? Regardless of how the count starts, you know he's going to finish with a couple of challenge pitches. Max, like you've said today, we have seen those time and time again from the tall left-hander. There's another one to Fan Smithwick.
Bryce Molinaro steps up in the 8th spot, 2 outs, and a 2-run deficit for the Bourne Braves. And he takes a strike right down Broadway.
And now he's just pumping strikes. You could tell he's really starting to get in rhythm, and that's going to be huge for himself and Hyannis going down the line.
Great point from our producer, Sam Montag. Third Big Ten guy, Penn State batter, as he takes a strike. Appreciate that, Sam. He's a St. John's transfer, rising redshirt junior. Penn State, 6 foot, 190 pounds. Had a pretty good season with the Nittany Lions, 267 batting average. The 0-2, checks his swing in for strike 3. Landman strikes out the side, and after Peyton Bonds got on base with a ground rule double in the first at-bat of the game, this lefty looks settled and poised. It's 3-1 Hyannis heading into the third.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Miles Bailey, Chris Rembert, and Vaughn Lackey due up in the top of the third inning for Hyannis at Bourne. And with a 3-1 lead over the Braves early in this ballgame. Still a lot of baseball left to be played. And Miles Bailey coming off what can arguably be said as his best performance yet of the 2025 Cape League season. 1 for 5, hit a blast of a home run. His first of the season, despite being the second best home run hitter in the entire ACC last year with Florida State, or rather last season, as it is still very much so going, the 2025 college baseball season. But that has got to feel so good for him to get that home run, get that big hit finally.
Absolutely. Breaks through after that 0 for 4 performance against Brewster. Nearly a golden sombrero for Bailey. It's got to feel great.
First pitch nearly gets him.
It did.
And it did. Got his lower stomach, it looked like.
Right on the jersey, maybe.
Right on the jersey. He is not in too much pain. It's a good sign for the hard-hitting lefty. And he takes his base. Well, guys, they have absolutely shut up the narrative that the leadoff batters can't get on base. They've done so in 2 of the 3 innings. And now there's going to be a meeting of the minds on the mound. Noah Franco, a tough start for the two-way player. It was a big first inning for Hyannis. They came out and absolutely ambushed the lefty, and that is going to make up his day. He goes back to the dugout, and a fresh arm comes out of the bullpen. We're going to take a quick break and then let you know who the new hurler is for the Braves on the Harbor Hawks Network. Top of the third inning and a pitching change for Bourne. It is Logan Beavis, right-handed pitcher, number 96 on our roster, number 44. In real life, we had some trouble finding him in our list, but a rising junior at Texas Tech, transfer from South Florida, went to Montverde Academy. That's well known for its basketball alumni.
Cooper Flagg, soon to be drafted #1 overall in the NBA, and along with Montverde.
One of many. But at Texas Tech, 7.04 ERA with a 3-0 record over 15 appearances, none of which were starts. He hurled for 23 flat innings, so Max seems like he's probably only good for an inning, maybe two if he's lucky.
Well, of course, head coach Scott Lander's not going to want him to come in this early, but that's just the reality of the situation. So maybe if they can safely stretch him, depending on how he does, he might pitch a little bit more. But, yeah, probably not going to be a multi-innings long relief guy.
So at this point, obviously it's only the top of the third, but if you are the pitching staff, the coaching staff for Bourne, are you just fully committing now to making this a bullpen game?
Well, it seems so because all you want to do is just get outs, get the next guy up. And this is not a blowout. It's a 3-1 game. It's still very early. It's not like Hyannis is leading 8-2 or 8-1. So this is an opportunity for them to get the bats back in the dugout and win this ball game. But, yes, even though it might be a bullpen game, that's not punting the opportunity for the comeback.
Logan Beavis with a tougher scenario to enter. Not the toughest that we've seen by any measure this season, but he's got Miles Bailey over on first, and he's going to face Chris Rembert and Vaughn Lackey with the potential of Jason Walk.
That's the thing. This is still very much a game for a Bourne team that has the pop to erase virtually any deficit. We saw the fast start to this game from Peyton Bonds, a ground rule double, and that's not going to go away just because you substitute pitchers. And so a chance for Beavis to keep the Braves in it.
Chris Rembert in the righty's box. He had that ground rule double back in the top of the first. He chops the first pitch, and it's botched by third baseman Cade Lewis. Both runners are safe. Bailey over in scoring position at second. I'll have to wait to see how that one is scored.
It'll probably be an E5. Definitely a play that he could have made. And the reason why he made the error is because he was thinking ahead of the play. He saw the ball and he was going, I'm going to second base. And instead of the ball first mindset, he missed both.
It was a pretty well-pitched double play ball. Down low in the zone. Got Rembert to swing on top of it. But you're right, Lewis just kind of jumped the gun. Took his eye off the ball.
Ahead.
Right.
That's the problem.
Brings up Vaughn Lackey. Takes a strike on the lower half of the zone. One of three to not get a hit in that huge first inning for Hyannis. He grounded out to short in his first plate appearance. Now dealing with one in scoring position. Hyannis still with that 3-1 lead. Beavis puts a ball in a similar spot, but that time it's called for a ball, not a strike.
I think that was the same part of the play, but that one just a little bit further down.
And they say that Rembert reached on a fielder's choice. Miles Bailey advanced to second on a fielding error by third baseman Cade Lewis, as there's a swing and a miss.
I would imagine that'd be flipped, that it's the error from third baseman Lewis that allows Rembert to reach.
Right.
And the fielder's choice that to attempt to get Bailey out at second, because that was a play, arguably, for the third baseman Cade Lewis.
Very interesting. No outs. 2 on, 1-2 pitch. Fouled off down the right side.
Go ahead, Graham.
Oh, I was just going to say, either way, it's an error.
Absolutely. It comes down to Cade Lewis, and the point I was going to make was that I'm always interested to see how Vaughn Lackey and Brody Briggs perform at the plate, because sporadic, and now it isn't completely random, but days, having a day off in between every single appearance, I wonder how that affects their rhythm.
1-2 to Lackey, and it bounces in. A good stop from Smithwick keeps both runners where they are at first and second. And this has now been 2 days for Vaughn Lackey. He did not play at Chatham, and then, of course, had Fenway day off. Still swung the bat, took BP, but yeah, the rhythm totally got to throw you off a little bit.
Reportedly flew the monster yesterday, according to our own Charlie Adams.
Oh, that's right. Also heard that one of our photographers almost got hit, I believe, by a Miles Bailey home run over the Green Monster.
That will happen with Bailey.
2-2 pitch. Skied in the field. A couple Braves calling for it, and now it's Waite, the shortstop, makes the snag, one away. First out of the inning, and a big first out for the Bourne Braves, as Hyannis got off to another hot start at the top of the inning. In the first, Matt Mura, Jackson Willits, and Andrew Williamson all got singles. In the second, Mura and Willits had a walk and a single, but then a really good pitching from Noah Franco getting back-to-back Ks to end the inning. Now Miles Bailey walks. Chris Rembert apparently gets to first on a fielder's choice. We thought it was going to be called an error on third baseman Cade Lewis. And Jason Walk takes a ball in the dirt.
Walk batted from the right side to start the game. He's now from the left.
One of two switch hitters in the batting order. One of three, I believe, in the lineup, if you add Aiden Federico into the mix. We've talked about how switch hitting has kind of become a lost art, and yet I feel like we've seen a lot in this early summer of 5 games. That pitch low, it's a 2-0 count. But I don't know, that could just be we happen to play the teams that have all the switch hitters.
I was about to say, across the Cape, too, we saw Brewster with a couple in lineup, I believe.
Just flipping the scorebook back.
Yeah.
3 switch hitters in their starting 9.
Wow.
Maybe it's not lost.
2-0. Just catches the zone. Could be that it's just not as well documented, or that, the switch hitters just can't quite break into the majors as consistently as some of the others have.
And you mentioned well documented. A switch hitter could be a switch hitter until they find a side they're comfortable with, and then it gets solidified to one end of the plate.
True. 2-1 count with 1 out in the top of the third inning. Hyannis leads 3-1 over the Bourne Braves. And a back-to-back strikes for Jason Walk.
And to close the book on that, to juxtapose the preferences, Walk will switch sides, first at-bat to second at-bat. Willits stays from the right for both. That could be a trend for him this summer.
2-2, 1 out, the pitch. Foul tipped, and it looks like it might have gotten Smithwick, the catcher, on the arm.
Yep. That stings.
That has to be among the most painful plays in baseball.
Yeah.
Trying to get feeling in his hand.
Total stinger on the right arm. He's shaking it like it fell asleep at 5 a.m. You just wake up and your arm is completely numb. That's kind of what it looks like. But he's all right. Catcher's some of the toughest in baseball. Still 1 out in a 2-2 count with 2 on base. Bailey at second, Rembert at first. And the pitch just away. Walk kind of bounced away like he thought it was going to be called a strike.
Second time he's done that now. He takes a brief lap around the batter's box.
He's got a full count in his second plate appearance for Hyannis this season. Grounded out his first time up. Payoff. Swung on and missed. Third strikeout of the day for Bourne pitching staff. First for Logan Bevis.
And Scotlanders be happy if this becomes a theme for Bourne. Early damage, the first 2 hitters reach with Bailey's hit by pitch and Rembert's error, whatever, fielder's choice, of course, is in flux. But that's the second inning this will have happened if he can if Bevis can strike out Jake Schaffner here or retire him anyway.
Schaffner 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to lead off the second inning. Already back up for a second time around in the top of the third. 2 outs, the first pitch. He shows bunt, pulls it back. He did not play in the game at Chatham. Went 0 for 4 against Brewster. 2 for 3, though, in the home game against Harwich, the home opener, with a run, a walk, and he stole 1 base out of 2 that he attempted to steal. And he's now got a pale blue bat that I remember he got at Chatham, and he said to me, he was like, I hope they let us keep this. This is a pretty cool bat. He's still got it. So I'm sure he's very happy about that as he takes a first strike of the at-bat. What kind of bat is that again, Max? You told me. At Chatham, the bat that Schaffner's using.
Marucci, bone-rubbed bat.
Bone-rubbed bat. You told me quickly after that it's not actually rubbed with a bone. So I was happy to hear that.
I would hope not.
1-2. Hit back up the middle, a play for Waite, the shortstop. Goes to second, and he just gets there in time, beating out a sliding Chris Rembert. The first 2 for Hyannis get on base, but then Bevis in his first inning of work gets out Lackey, Walk, and Schaffner. Still 3-1 Hyannis heading into the bottom of the third inning.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, Then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Bottom of the third here at Doran Park. Hyannis leads 3-1 over the Bourne Braves. Both teams with pretty strong offensive starts in that first inning. But man, Brett Landman, Max, came alive, struck out the side in the bottom of the second.
And what was really impressive is the way he was pumping strikes and consistently jumping ahead of hitters. He was constantly putting himself in the advantage count, and that's the only way that you're going to be able to have success on that consistent level. We saw him striking out the side.
The Braves, they've also struggled a little bit with their leadoff batters, but have really cooled down with runners in scoring position. So that is not going to help their case. 2 for 10 at Brewster with runners in scoring position. 1 for 4 against Chatham with runners in scoring position. They've also just kind of seen a decrease in their overall numbers of getting those chances with runners on base, those being second or third. Riker Waite shows bunt, pulls back on the first at bat at the bottom of the third. Waite batting in the 9 spot. It will be the second time through the order where Hyannis, they're about to be going through the order for the third time. He takes a ball down low, kind of speaks to the narrative of this game is just how quickly the bats came alive for Hyannis.
As though they hurt us again. Keep coming back to that.
2-0 pitch. Sky to down the right side. Chris Rembert, the second baseman, doesn't make the catch. It was Miles Bailey. He moved over like he was calling for it, but Bailey makes it at the last second. Again, the wind kind of gusting. It's now shifted to where it's blowing from right to left instead of home plate straight out to center. That is absolutely going to play an impact in tonight's ball game. It started 77 degrees at first pitch. Cooled down a little bit.
And the wind now moving from the left side towards the first base dugout of Bourne, now towards the Hyannis dugout. That ball moved directly with it.
It is gusty, not blowing consistently in one direction. Peyton Bonds at the top of the order takes a strike, his first pitch. He had that controversial ground rule double, originally called a home run back in the top of the first inning. Wiped away, called a ground rule double. He's got no 1 count with 1 out. He fouls one off straight back.
Don't want to put that pitch again. Could be asking for a new baseball. Fouling it straight back, it means he's on it, just right under it.
Bonds again went to Rutgers. Transfer from Campbell, one of many now that have used that transfer portal to their advantage. Swings through an 0-2. 5th K already for Brett Landman. He had a scorching 84 at Abilene Christian his last season. And through 1 appearance, he's already got 5.
And he's really settled in after the aforementioned ground rule double in the first inning. He looks like he's comfortable. He looks like he's having fun out there, which is very, very good for Hyannis, but also as locked in as ever.
LeGrand tries to bunt, and he misses. He flew out his first plate appearance to right field. Yeah, you talk about how well Landman settled in. Really, really impressive because it looked like Bonds took him yard for a second there. He hit that first ball so hard, but he looks calm, cool, and collected. 0-1, down low.
And the reversal of calls there almost, I think, softened the blow a little bit because you let up a home run on the first pitches of the game, it can really mess with you mentally. But to have that only be a ground rule double, an escapable situation, proved to be better for Landman.
1-1 pitch. LeGrand takes a ball down low. 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. Hyannis leads 3-1. All 4 of those runs came in the first inning. 3 for Hyannis in the top, 1 for the Bourne Braves in the bottom. 2-1. Fouled straight back. LeGrand kind of golf swings that one out of the bottom of the zone. Just got underneath it. A lot of 2s now on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for the 2-man in the batting order. As the wind really starts to pick up. The 2-2. Ripped up to center field and down in front of Jason Walk.
Go ahead.
2-out single for John LeGrand in the 3rd inning.
As much as we laud Landman for being settled in, that's a great at-bat from John LeGrand after an early flyout in the 1st inning. Nice 2-out hitting, 2-strike hitting as well there to chase the breaking ball over the plate. You put a bat on and good things can happen if you don't get under it, which he did not right there.
LeGrand had a .368 average in 2025 at St. John's. Another player that used the portal. Had 2 seasons at Wabash Valley College in Mount Carmel, Illinois. First pitch ball to Cade Lewis. That had him check his swing. St. John's in the Big East Conference. Well known this year for its basketball team that came up short in the NCAA tournament. LeGrand made a good run with their baseball team, and he goes. The 1-0's called for a strike. The throw in time. Vaughn Lackey cuts down the base runner to end the inning. John LeGrand couldn't beat the hard throw. We're going to keep it here as Hyannis leads 3-1 and send it over to the 4th member of our team, Ethan Wax. Ethan?
Thank you very much, Graham. Tuesday night's comeback where the Harbor Hawks erased a 5-run deficit to earn a 7-7 tie at Chatham was as much about the slumbering bats awakening as it was about the lockdown relief pitching the team received. 5 relievers combined to hold Chatham to just 2 hits and 1 run over the final 8 2/3 innings, allowing the Harbor Hawks to forge the comeback. Last year, Coach Carricker called on a league-high 19 relief pitchers over the 40-game season, and this year, through the first 4 games, he has already summoned 11 different relievers. His move have paid off big time, as over 23 2/3 innings, the bullpen has yielded just 2 earned runs, good for a sparkling 0.76 earned run average. Only 4 of the relievers have appeared in 2 games. The relievers have struck out 30 or more than 1 batter per inning, led by right-hander Eric Hofberg, who has appeared in 3 2/3 innings over 2 games. The rising junior has picked up where he left off at Gonzaga, where the right-hander struck out 41 batters over his final 31 innings, spanning 13 relief appearances. As a Harbor Hawk, he has fanned 6 batters without yielding a hit. Now we join the guys in the booth for the top of the 4th inning. Guys?
All right, thank you so much, Ethan. Part of the reason that this pitching staff has done so well is that they have really thrived with runners in scoring position. Other teams, 9 for 38 with runners in scoring position. Chatham had some success. They were 4 for 8, but that largely came in the first couple innings, and then like Ethan said, for over the last 8, they shut it down.
It seems as though an external pressure rises upon Harbor Hawk pitching when there's runners along the base pass. We see some pitchers change from the windup to the stretch in that case. That's a bit more direct of a change, but it probably doesn't have anything to do with that, but there's something that's making them lock in when there's guys on base.
The light flicks on. When that runner gets to second, the pitching staff comes alive. Matt Mura takes a strike, a breaking ball that just catches the corner. 3rd time through the batting order for Hyannis. It's only the top of the 4th inning. The Harbor Hawks lead 3-1 over the Braves. They have not trailed in this ball game. Came out firing in the top of the 1st. The top 3 each had singles. It was started by Mura, who takes a ball low and inside. Mura 1 for 1, drew a walk in the 2nd. He has been phenomenal. Had a little bit of a slower start to the season. Didn't get a hit through his first couple of games, but drew a lot of walks. Mentioned earlier, he's got a 23 on base streak going, and he extends it to 24, but can't get a hit there. Great play from John LeGrand. It was a line drive into center field. Matt Mura just couldn't get it to dive underneath the charging center fielder.
Yeah, good swing. Just dropped the barrel on it, but unfortunately not all good swings end in a good result. But if you're Mura, 2 at-bats, a single, a walk, and then a hard hit line out, you cannot be hanging your head after that.
brings up Jackson Willits for a third time. He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles on the ball game. Had a great season at Oklahoma, 19 multi-hit performances as he takes a ball outside. There's a Rawlings All-Central Region Honors mention. And although he had a really good season, Oklahoma a little bit of a disappointing one, lost in the quarterfinals of the SEC tournament to Vanderbilt. Did get a bid into the NCAA tournament, as the 1-0 is just inside, make it a 2-0 count. They played in the Chapel Hill Regional, won the first 2 games against Nebraska and UNC, but then lost the tiebreaker to North Carolina and got eliminated. Heartbreaker for them, but fortunate for the Harbor Hawks to get this kind of player.
And a Diamond Heel team that will welcome Harbor Hawk third baseman Jake Schaffner next year.
That's right. 3 straight balls to Jackson Willits, who turns back to his dugout and gives some information on the pitch. This is the top half's first time seeing Logan Bevis, the new pitcher. It was Noah Franco, left-hander, that led off in this ball game. And then after Miles Bailey drew a walk in the top of the third, Bourne made a pitching change. 3-0. Catches for a strike. Willits was taking that thing the whole way through.
An interesting add to our conversation about switch hitters. Willits, righty in the first and the second, lefty here in the fourth.
The switch hitter making his first appearance in that lefty's box. Checks his swing, it just misses for a walk. 4th walk of the day for the Bourne pitching staff. That is something that they have struggled with.
And Hyannis, a team that's going to take advantage of those walks. We've already seen them deposit some of those into runs. It's always living dangerously, giving these guys any free opportunities.
Bourne tied for the 4th most walks already in the league at 17, tied with Falmouth and Hyannis. So these 2 teams kind of right on the same level as far as allowing walks on the defensive side. But 4 already for the Bourne Braves, none for the Harbor Hawks. First pitch strike to Andrew Williamson, who shows bunt but pulls it back.
That completely speaks to the kind of player that Andrew Williamson is. This is one of the most powerful hitters in the Harbor Hawk lineup, arguably the most powerful hitter, yet even he is not beneath showing bunt at any time.
1 out on the scoreboard, a runner at first. The 0-1, runner goes, pitches low, and Smithwick can't keep it in his glove. Willits slides in, didn't need to. Smithwick couldn't make the transfer.
There's a second stolen base of the day for him, 3rd as a team for the Harbor Hawks, and they continue to be aggressive on the base pass, which just adds to more pressure that we talked about a little bit earlier.
Haven't really seen that, Max, since the Wareham game to open up the season when Harbor Hawks stole 4 bases in 5 innings.
Williamson takes a ball, it bounces in the dirt. Did a good job that time from Smithwick staying in front of it. Hyannis has stolen the 4th fewest bases at this point, 6, but felt like at least half of those came in the first game. Maybe even 4 of the 6 came against Wareham. This team coming out much more aggressively in Game 5 than they did in Game 4 at Chatham. 2-1 count to Williamson with 1 out and a runner in scoring position. He chops one to second base. A good fielding job. And he gets the out over at first, but a productive out for Andrew Williamson, who moves Willits 90 feet, and he's on third base.
Molinaro could be counting his lucky stars. They always teach you down to up on the infield. That was complete up to down. He's lucky that ball didn't sneak under the glove and into the outfield.
And that's akin to a bunt for Andrew Williamson. Move the runner over. You've now got a 4th run 90 feet away in Willits, who we've seen as a threat to steal. So you get a ball out there, he's going to score with relative ease.
Brings up Ray Velasquez. Takes a strike on a breaking ball. Velasquez 0 for 1. Drew a walk his first time up. Struck out his second time. Max, to your point about that bounce, we've seen a couple of weird hops already in this ball game and a couple in previous ones. The dirt does not play favorites in the infield. 0-1 pitch. Swung right through it. Velasquez, a lot of power. One of the best hitters at Austin Peay in 2025. Went 2 for 4 against Brewster. 2 for 4 as well at Chatham. He's starting to find his groove on a 3-game hit streak. Trying to extend it to 4. 0-2. Sent down the right side. Holcomb, the right fielder, charging to his right, and it stays fair. Velasquez has extra bases, slides into second, A 2-out RBI double for number 23 in orange. Just like that, Hyannis gets back on the horse. It's a 4-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks. They scored 3 in the top of the first, and then back-to-back goose eggs, and then 1 in the top of the fourth now. But another meeting of umpires. This could well get reversed, just like the ground rule double for Peyton Bonds.
It's difficult to see from our vantage point here on the first base line as the umpire meeting comes to a close.
I mean, J.C. Fernandez had a really good view of it. Obviously, better view than ours. He was right on it, so.
And it seemed right as J.C. Fernandez walked up, they started walking away. He seemed pretty sure that that one was fair. Brings up scoring position, but 2 outs as Hyannis leads 4-1 over Bourne.
And this is a situation that Beavis does not like at all. One of the most dangerous hitters in the country at the plate.
Bailey takes a breaking ball just outside. Bourne, again, they have struggled with their pitching. Second worst ERA in the league coming into this 5th game of the season at 4.22. 8th in whip, walks and hits per inning at 1.34. Bailey swings right through a fastball. They're also 9th in strikeouts, this all out of 10 teams. Tied for 4th for the most walks. And they've struggled pitching with runners in scoring position, as Hyannis has one right now. Brewster was 5 for 8 with runners in scoring position in their last game. Bailey swings over the top of a breaking ball. It's a 1-2 count. Seems like that's what Bailey has struggled with a little bit, is the breaking ball. He swings through those a lot.
I was going to say the exact same thing, Graham. And if Beavis can get that pitch to work, get that dip below the zone, he can be in a good spot moving forward.
2 outs, 1-2 with a man on second. In for strike 3. Bailey goes down looking. But Hyannis gets another run. Ray Velasquez with a crunch double to right field. They lead 4-1 on the Harbor Hawks network. Bottom of the 4th inning, Hyannis leads 4-1 as the sun goes down and it feels cold once again. Max Schwartzberg putting on the hoodie. Gio, you and I are still in our short sleeves and shorts.
We're going to tough it out for a few more innings. If it gets colder from here,
no shame on my part.
No shame for Max. I would imagine that I'm going to layer up.
Graham, you're a Cali kid, too.
I know.
How are you not cold right
Dude,
now?
I had 5 layers on at Chatham, okay?
That was ridiculous. That was nuts.
Hey,
you're at least, so here's the thing. You at least go to school in Indiana, where it is cold. I would imagine, like, for Max and I'm okay with some like lighter layers. We're in Boston. We have tough, terrible winters. But Graham, I'm disappointed in you, man.
Hey, man, I'm a Cali kid at heart. What can I've always hated the cold.
I respect you sticking to your guns, though.
Yeah, hey, I'm not changing for anyone. Got a new pitcher on the mound for Hyannis. Their first change, it's Richie Roman, number 28, making his second appearance of this season. He's got a perfect ERA at 0. His last appearance was early on in the season, I believe. Was it the home opener? I forgot to put it in my notes. Bad on me. But regardless, rising junior from Houston, had a good season, 6.31 ERA over 20 appearances.
In that home opener, Graham, against Harwich this past Sunday, he allowed the game's lone run in his 2 innings, a couple of strikeouts for Roman. We saw the fastball get up there pretty high. 95-96 from the righty out of Houston. So we see what comes on the gun here today.
Now, one run he allowed was unearned, hence the clean ERA. He faces Cade Lewis in the bottom of the fourth. Lewis fouls it straight back. Hits the brick. It's brick right behind the batter's box, right behind home plate. So it just kind of rifles right back at the players. That could come into play if there's
the same thing, like
there's
a
a pass
pinball
ball
machine right back at you.
The only brick backstop in the Cape League, to my knowledge.
Hyannis leads 4-1 in the bottom of the fourth. Bourne got one in the bottom of the first inning, but have been kept clean ever since. And a second straight foul ball that pinballs for a second straight time. Brett Landman had a phenomenal start. Allowed a big hit to Peyton Bonds that was originally called a home run and then pulled back to a ground rule double. After that, he struck out 5 and only allowed 2 other hits. 0-2 count early for Cade Lewis. And he fouls a third straight pitch back.
You'd love to see the no walks as well from Landman, especially after the walks were a bit high in Chatham.
Richie Roman allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in 14 of his 19 appearances at Houston in 2025. And he gets a strikeout, his first at bat. Cade Lewis goes down swinging, K number 6 of the ball game. I mean, this team has had nearly double-digit Ks every single game. They're already over halfway to that double-digit number. It's only the bottom of the fourth.
As sure as anything, this team is going to strike batters out. I wonder, Graham, if that's in the philosophy or just in the pitchers they've collected. Have they gathered strikeout pitchers from across the nation? A lot of them are, but it's got to come from the coaching. Good on Blaze Martinez and manager Mitch Carricker.
Richie Roman faces Braden Holcomb. He fouls one right into the netting to our right. Holcomb struck out in his first plate appearance. That was the first strikeout for Brett Landman back in the first inning. This Hyannis team have had a lot of strikeouts, but not the most in the league. That belongs to one Falmouth. 52-47 for Hyannis. 0-1 right in there for a second strike. All Holcomb can do is just nod his head, except that was a really good pitch.
Fastball just got on him. It's really coming out of the hand well from Roman.
0-2 count with 1 out in the bottom of the fourth. Richie Roman delivers a ball that nearly got Holcomb to swing. That time tunneled it with the breaking ball. Really good plate discipline from Holcomb. That is so impressive to me when a pitcher can go fastball and back it right up with that breaking ball that dies right out of the zone every time a batter doesn't swing. It is unbelievable. Lights come on in the bottom of the fourth in the 1-2. A check swing. They got him. Back-to-back Ks for Richie Roman. 7 now on the day for the Hyannis pitching staff, who have a 4-1 lead.
Both have been closed off with a breaking ball that goes beneath the knees of the hitters, and it's nearly fooled both of them swinging. We saw Lewis go down with a swing through it. Holcomb tried to lay off it, but the location pristine from Richie Roman. Great start for the Houston pitcher.
Holcomb just buckled underneath that breaking ball. Brings up Logan Hughes. He serves a ball down low. For his fun fact at the beginning of the season, Richie Roman told us that he's been nicknamed the Houston Hurricane, something that I think we should bring alive.
He's brought it so far.
He has. Pepper in the zone with strikes. The 1-0. Back-to-back balls, but a good fastball at the knees.
And somehow that wasn't the coolest fun fact we heard on Media Day. A couple back flippers in the Harbor Hawk roster.
That's true. One Von Lackey.
Von Lackey did one.
2-0 pitch.
Did more than
Swung
that.
on and missed. He was well late.
There was another.
I don't remember the one thing I
did
remember.
Like the full gymnastic
Lackey's was a handstand into it. Trey Beard. From our producers Dan Bottolino and Sam Montag. Thank you for the assist, boys.
2 outs, 2-1 pitch to Logan Hughes. Grounds one to left, and it gets through the gap. Out single for the left fielder. And he thwarts what was going to be a very clean and good inning for Richie Roman. He's got to lock right back in. That's got to be challenging. You strike out your first two batters, everything's going well, you're finding the zone, then all of a sudden you hear the crack of the bat, and a base runner's over at first. You got to lock back in, even though you've got a 4-1 lead. He went 2 innings the last time he pitched. And he throws a strike to Weber Niels, trying to make quick work of this lineup so we can come back in the bottom of the 5th.
Roman a pitch away from being the second Harbor Hawk pitcher tonight to strike out the side. As you mentioned, Graham, a great piece of hitting from Hughes, but now he's got to dial in.
Ground ball down the left side. It goes foul. We said that the Hawks, they've got the 3rd best batting average in the league through 4 games. The Braves have the best batting average in the league. .266, they're second in on-base percentage. Ironically, they're second to Hyannis in on-base percentage. So these two just kind of flip-flopping in the important batting categories early through 4 games. But it's the Hawks pitching that have been significantly better than the Braves. Runner on first, 0-2, 2 out. Hit up the middle, and a great save off a hop from Rembert. Makes a throw to first. It's in time! Sports Center put this man on top 10. A beautiful play from Chris Rembert to end the inning, wiping clean the Logan Hughes single. 4-1 lead for Hyannis heading into the top of the 5th.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark. Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Hyannis with a 3-run lead in the top of the 5th inning. It's 4-1. And what a show-stopping play from Chris Rembert to end the 4th inning. A ground ball right up the middle, gloves it with his backhand, turns, jumps, spins, throws, bounces it in, and it still beats the base runner.
And he will get to continue a budding theme of our broadcast here. Whenever someone makes a great fielding play, it's just so happened that they've been up at the plate next. That's exactly what Rembert will get to further here, Graham.
Wow. I didn't even realize that. How does that keep happening? That is
luck of the draw.
Unbelievable. He leads off with Von Lackey and Jason Walk backing him up. It's 6, 7, 8 in the bottom of the 5th, or top of the 5th inning. It's already the 3rd time through this batting order. They nearly batted around in the 1st inning. That's how strong that inning was. Matt Mura, Jackson Willits, and Andrew Williamson all had singles, followed by Ray Velasquez with a walk. Chris Rembert, that ground rule double, and he is back up now. That ground rule double and a fielder's choice make up his batting day thus far. He leads off and takes a ball low and away. The leadoff batter has gotten on base in 2 of the 3 innings thus far. Matt Mura led off with a single. Miles Bailey walked in the 3rd. Other than that, Jake Schaffner grounded out, and Matt Mura lined out. 1-0. Checks his swing. It bounces in. He does not swing. Well, we have seen that after those big plays, some people can get swing happy. Their adrenaline's going, so the instinct is to swing. But a really good eye and a really good disciplined take to not let that one go, make it a 1-1 count. Instead, it's 2-0 with no one on, no outs. Top of the 5th, Von Lackey in the on-deck circle. The pitch. Inside. Hyannis has drawn the 2nd most walks this young season with 24. They've already got 4 on the night. Bourne has struggled as it's a 3-0 count to Chris Rembert and a 4-pitch walk. Well, Max, they say it when it rains, it pours, and right now it is raining down walks. How do you get on that? How do you stop that trend when you're on the mound and all directions are just kind of pointing towards balls?
Well, it just seems like he doesn't have a feel for his pitches, and that's when you're going to have to make a mechanical adjustment. And the problem is you're going to have to do it when you're on the mound in live time, and that's not always going to equate to good baseball on your part. But Hyannis, they're taking advantage of the walks, and it's a tough situation, putting yourself in peril with a lineup like this.
Logan Bevis throws a ball to Von Lackey. Bevis, Texas Tech rising junior. 3-0 record, 7.04 ERA. Transfer from the University of South Florida. Runner goes, he deals. It's in for a strike. The throw to second, not in time. Man, Rembert came crashing into second base. He slid so late that before he was able to get his foot even extended, his leg extended, that foot crashed into the bag. Fortunate he didn't hurt his ankle there.
He almost tried to pull his left leg back, too, because that's where the tag was coming in from Waite, the shortstop. Came over to cover.
Lackey with a 1-1, swings over the top of a breaking ball.
And how about that response to a web gem in the field from Rembert? Worked the walk on 5 pitches, then steal base, the 4th of the night for the Harbor Hawks.
They're very aggressive on the base pad, something that we saw in Game 1 at Wareham. But the past 2 days, they haven't been stealing nearly as much as they did in Game 1. 1-2, gets Lackey. A breaking ball, he goes way out in front of it. It was a dropped third strike. He's not even going to try to go over to first base. The throw from Smithwick, though, pulled first baseman Weber Neals off the bag.
Number 6, Jason Walk.
So Jason Walk comes up to the plate. And there's going to be a meeting on the mound. 1 out. Von Lackey was the 5th strikeout of the day for the pitching staff of Bourne. But head coach asked for the baseball. They're going to make a change. New pitcher coming onto the field. We will get you his name, number, and stats when we come back on the Harbor Hawks Network.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so like seeing all the behind-the-scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing, and I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what like the major kind of entails of doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting, so I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
New pitcher on the mound for the Bourne Braves. It's number 17, a left-handed pitcher, Lou Marinero. Still waiting on Lou's stats to pull up, but he's coming into an interesting situation. There's a runner on second in scoring position.
Number 17, Louis Marinaro.
And Von Lackey, the only out of the inning. He struck out. It was the 5th strikeout of the day for the pitching staff of Bourne. Jason Walk is due up with Jake Schaffner just behind. It is 8 and 9 in the order for Hyannis. These two have struggled. A ground out and a strikeout for Jason Walk. Ground out and fielder's choice for Jake Schaffner that ended the 3rd inning. So these two at-bats important for the bottom half of the order that's still trying to find some momentum.
They're critical, honestly, because especially for Walk coming up first, if you're now in at-bat number 3 of your Cape League summer, it's a time where, yes, you're the first batter to face a new pitcher, but it's also your 3rd time to the plate, as I just mentioned. And at that point, some of the rust should be off, and thus an opportunity to plate the runner at second in Chris Rembert.
Jason Walk takes his walk to the right-hander's box. His first time playing for the Harbor Hawks. Didn't even know his number before he stepped up to the plate for the first time, pretty much. He's been playing in a practice jersey that does not have a number on the back. Marinero ready to deliver his first pitch with one out on the scoreboard, a 4-1 lead for Hyannis in the top of the 5th inning. And it's fouled straight back towards us. Max, I feel like if you're to catch a foul ball, it's going to be in an away stadium.
I think it's definitely a possibility in this game, absolutely.
You've seen a couple come this way already. Look alive, boys.
We have.
I'm on my feet. Step, every pitch.
It's an 0-1 count with one out. Runner on second, Walk takes a ball outside. And yet again, he goes back to that interesting walk around. He takes a step well outside of the batter's box. A switch hitter, so he's done it on both sides.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, takes a walk around. Do you just attribute that to maybe some nerves?
No, I think it's just a rhythm thing. A lot of guys like taking strolls, although it's harder with the pitch clock these days.
1-1. Just outside, Walk shaking his head, saying that did not catch it, despite some boos from the crowd.
In high school baseball, a lot of guys will take.
And now 2 on base. It's Chris Rembert at second, Jason Walk at first. Both of them have gotten on base in this inning via the walk, and Jake Schaffner due up. And Schaffner has changed his bat. He's not going with that bone-rubbed baby blue bat anymore. He's going to what he used to go with.
I'm not sure if it broke on the ground ball out to shortstop, but it didn't sound good. But it didn't sound necessarily like a broken bat, so maybe just try.
It's not the case. He really liked that bat. His first pitch is up and inside. Schaffner, his goal at Fenway Day was to hit one off the green monster. Did not get the chance to ask him if he achieved his goal, but many Harbor Hawks did. A lot of power in this lineup.
Difficult to do as a lefty.
It's very true.
Push it the other way.
1-0.
Great pitch.
Catches. Fastball is there.
That is a beautiful spot. Down and outside corner, left on left. Yeah, good luck.
Schaffner was on a 2-game hit streak and on base streak before going 0 for 4 against Brewster. Lost some of his momentum. He's 0 for 2 on the day. 1-1. Framed beautifully on the lower half of the zone. Smithwick doing a good job behind the plate. It's 1-2.
Yeah, he's really got that fastball working on that lower half, and I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to change eye levels, maybe go something up in the zone. Still stay with the heat, but we'll see on this pitch.
Schaffner led North Dakota State University in hits and runs and triples, and why not one more? Stolen bases as well, as there's a meeting of the minds on the mound. It's a 1-2 count to Schaffner. He also had the best batting average and on-base percentage with the least number of strikeouts in 2025 for NDSU.
So professional.
So professional.
I mean, the power, yes, it's not grand, but just the bat-to-ball skills that'll play at the next level, and it will at UNC.
He locks back into his 1-2 count with 1 out and 2 men on. Rembert at second, and he fouls off a breaking ball. What an effort to get to that pitch. It dove well low, was pretty much at the plate, and he was just able to tick it.
Yeah, case in point why it's so hard to strike him out. That's a pitch that is maybe a strike, maybe a ball, but he's just going to fight it off because he can't drive it, he can't do anything with it, and try to find and hunt his pitch.
Rembert at second, Jason Walk at first. Hyannis leads 4-1 in the top of the 5th inning over the Bourne Braves. Schaffner with a 1-2 count. The pitch. Foul down the left side. And he'll get to do it again with only 1 out on the scoreboard. Schaffner playing over at third base in today's ball game. Did not play at Chatham. Trying to rebuild some momentum after a really strong start to the season. He did not start in the season opener, but came in for Cameron Chialoy in the 5th after Chialoy got hit by a pitch. Pitch bounces in. It hits the grass in front of the plate.
There's a changeup right there. Just topped it. That's from releasing it too early. Once you don't get the good release on it, it just goes straight off the top of your fingers too quickly, and that's where you see the 56-footer right before the plate.
The circle change, not working. 2-2 count, 1 out, the pitch. Fly to deep center field, LeGrand going to his left. And it's a miscommunication, he nearly drops it, but able to make the catch. And also rifles the throw back into the infield to keep Chris Rembert at second base and Jason Walk at first.
LeGrand was shaded towards the right field earlier. On that one, he shaded in a similar spot, but got an awful jump off of his look to go get the ball. Nearly collided with the right fielder Holcomb as he stepped in front of him in an impromptu call-off there for the second out of the inning.
I want to talk about someone with a really professional approach. How about Matt Mura in the leadoff spot for Hyannis today? 1 for 2 with a walk in the second. He had a tough start to the season, but man, he has looked really solid in this Game 5.
That just says so much about a guy, the ability to turn the page, especially when you don't start off hot.
Takes a strike on the inside of the zone, kind of has moved his arms upwards as if he was dodging it. Must have just clipped. Rising senior at Hawaii, playing in his 4th game of the season. 2 outs, 0-1. It catches the outside of the zone. Both kind of in that buffer. It's an 0-2 count with 2 outs. Is this green light, Max, or is this red?
I mean, you have to have a green light out behind 0-2, but it's not even about a pitch you can drive. It's about a pitch that you can put in play and avoid the strikeout.
Mura going into plate protection mode. The pitch. Fought off straight back. Protect he did.
And that's that pitch that's on the outside kind of buffer zone. Might be a call to strike, might be called a ball. An emergency swing and a professional swing right there to stay alive for another pitch. Try to find when he can hunt in the zone.
Mura working with Chris Rembert at second and Jason Walk over at first. 2 outs in an 0-2 count in the top of the 5th inning. The pitch. Driven to right field, but it curls foul. Rembert got a huge hop off of second base. He was bolting for third.
Almost as if it was a delayed steal. I mean, it was a big secondary lead, but he wants to score on that base hit.
Bevis has pitched a strong game so far, only allowed that 1 run in the top of the 4th, which was that hard-hit Ray Velasquez double to bring home Jackson Willits, who walked. Now he's got to try to get himself out of another inning with another runner in scoring position and another one at first in Jason Walk. 0-2 with 2 outs. Top of the 1st, Hyannis leads 4-1. The pitch. Upstairs. First ball of the at-bat. That high fastball, that can be so tempting to swing at. But Matt Mura with the patience to lay off and wait for his pitch. 1-2 with 2 outs. Bevis bounces one in right in front of the plate again. Wonder if that was, again, the changeup where he missed his release point. And all of a sudden, the narrative of this at-bat has changed. It was 0-2 for a while. Matt Mura worked it back to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Feels like at this point the momentum shifts in the hitter, and now the pitcher has to show something. 2 outs, 2 on. Hyannis leads 4-1, top of the 5th. Deuce is wild. Away. 3 straight balls, and it's a full count.
Good. It's an excellent take from Mura on a pitch that, with another inch below it, probably rings him up and head to the dugout.
I was just going to say, it's showing why he led the Rainbow Warriors in walks the last 2 years, 0-2 to 3-2.
2 outs on the scoreboard. 2 on, 3-2. Driven back up the middle. It gets over the glove. Oh, Rembert comes home. Walk stops at third. The play at the second base is in time. Matt Mura tried to turn his single into a double, and he gets caught. The run does still score, so Rembert makes it 5-1 Hyannis, and Mura just can't get his way to second base. Hyannis with the lead.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group. Protecting the possible.
Hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Bottom of the 5th inning. Stick around for Beat D-Bot, which is upcoming. We've been debating what college to throw at this guy.
Comes in with a 3-1 record.
Yeah. He went down 0-1. We thought we had him.
How about the momentum? You got to give Daniel Bottolino his credit where it's due. It's hard to start a season 0-1, but no panic, comes back with 3 straight wins.
The schools this year, folks, if you'd like to put your knowledge to the test as I go through them, it's been Mercer, Game 1 at Wareham.
It's the one that got him.
Winthrop, Game 2 versus Harwich. You did indeed get that one. UC Irvine, Game 3. Game 4, South Alabama, a couple days ago at Chatham. So stay tuned at the end of the bottom of the 5th, as Graham said, to see which school we try to beat D-Bot with.
It's going to be a tough one this game. It is going to be tough. And Campbell Smithwick is going to lead off in this inning. I will tell you, D-Bot, that Smithwick is not going to be your guy. Smithwick, Ole Miss. I think that would be a little bit too easy for you over there, our producer. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a K. And takes a ball. Von Lackey with a good frame job. But the pitching, man, they have shut down this Braves batting order, which is so far best in the league. After the first inning, they scored 1 in the bottom of the first and have put 3 goose eggs up ever since. 0-1. Hit up the middle. Rembert gets it again, makes another running play. That one can't hop in time. Nearly 2 unbelievable plays for the second baseman. Instead, it's an infield single.
Almost identical. I mean, the first one still, even if he had made that last play, was way more impressive considering how deep in the hole it was. But just the athleticism on this guy is unbelievable.
At least he gets to forehand this one, Max, whereas a backhand for the first web gem for Rembert. And we saw shades of this in his first game as he came mid-game against Harwich on Sunday against Brewster. He made a leaping attempt at a baseball in shallow center field.
First pitch strike to Bryce Molinaro.
Didn't come up with it, but you saw that raw talent from Rembert and just the sheer athletic ability that is inherent in this second baseman.
Rembert, a rising sophomore at Auburn. One of the many strong SEC schools in baseball. Second pitch strike as well to Molinaro. He has swung through back-to-back pitches. First a fastball, second a breaking ball. Rembert not eligible for the draft. Did get an invite to USA Baseball. Gonna go practice with the team. The 0-2's hit into center field. Coming in, Jason Walk makes the snag, keeps the runner at first base. 1 away. That's the part of this Hyannis team that has really impressed me. It's when something's going right, they don't get rattled by some quick hit. A single to lead off the inning from Campbell Smithwick, and then Richie Roman follows it up with a great next at-bat, gets Molinaro to fly out to center.
The goldfish mentality we love so much, Graham, as fans of Ted Lasso. Right back to business after a small bump in the road.
First pitch strike to Riker Waite. 7-8-9 due up in this inning, and we are in 9. Campbell Smithwick singled to lead off the inning, and then Molinaro just flew out. Hyannis still leads 5-1. The bottom of the 5th inning. Richie Roman puts one in the dirt.
Pitching downstairs for that double play ball. Looking for some 4.63.
As a player, you probably know to a degree that that double play ball is in effect, that that's what they're looking for. How do you as a hitter try to avoid that while also moving over your base runner? Hits the 1-1 right at second base. Rembert gets the out at first and the second.
You guys owe me dinner.
Max, you're 2 for 2 on your calls in this ball game. Still a 5-1 lead for Hyannis. Campbell Smithwick singled to lead off the inning, and Riker Waite grounds into a double play to end it.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Top of the 6th, and it is time to beat D-Bot. A 3-1 record, as we mentioned previously. D-Bot, we talked about him. He's actually in the lineup in this ball game, so that might help you. It's Peyton Bonds. Did you say the nephew of Barry Bonds? Is that right, Max? Yeah, the nephew of Barry Bonds. He currently goes to Rutgers, but he did go to Campbell. Campbell transfer. What do you got?
You know, I'm a big fan of alliteration here.
Okay.
Big fan, which is why I know it. Oh, my God. You're going to be.
You know it because of the alliteration.
Of course. And because they have an inflatable camel. So
okay.
They have an inflatable camel that their basketball players run out of the tunnel from.
Insane.
Can we hear it? What is the mascot?
Camels.
It's a camel.
Isn't it the fighting camel?
The fighting camels on the technicality?
Ooh.
Fighting camels.
It counts. No, you got it.
Also, Chris Clemens went there. He averaged like 30 points a game.
Okay, yeah, you got it. Well done.
Thank you. 4-1.
First pitch ball to Peyton Bonds. Or excuse me, wrong. You got me rattled, D-Bot.
I want to put on the record that I thought that was way too easy right away.
We have to, as Max says, up the difficulty here.
Second pitch in for a strike. It's a 1-1 count to Jackson Willits. Well done, D-Bot. He's 4-1 after going down 0-1.
Little 4-win streak.
Four-game win streak.
It's on a heater.
D-Bot. 1-1, up and away.
He's still yapping about it.
He is still yapping. We need to find another D3 player. We should
gotta
have given him
humble him.
Dennison.
And surprisingly, he lost on Mercer, which I thought was like, for someone with robust NCAA tournament, for basketball, of course, knowledge, I thought that one would be the easiest.
2-1 upstairs for a third ball to Jackson Willits. Max, you did say it was too easy.
I mean, I thought the UC Irvine was going to be the easiest because like it's such a known like it's so iconic. The Anteaters.
The Anteaters.
What other school is an Anteater?
No one.
And he still got it. 3-1. Catches the top of the zone. Full count.
If I started a school, I would make the mascot an armadillo.
I'm sure there's one with an armadillo.
Is there?
Might have to
I'm
check
sure
the
there
tape.
is. Maybe we find one of those in a future game and we try to stump him.
He'll probably know it. Full count pitch. Fouled off down the right side. Jackson Willits, 2 for 2 on the day in his Hyannis debut. 2 singles and a walk.
Just to close the book on Max's question, San Antonio College are the Armadillos.
Interesting.
Could not name one player.
Is that a
from there.
D1, D3?
I couldn't even tell you.
No, don't know. Could be any of the Ds. Jackson Willits walked in his last plate appearance. And he walks again. Back-to-back walks for Jackson Willits.
What a debut for the Oklahoma Sooners. Single, 2 stolen bases, walk. Incredible stuff as he makes his Harbor Hawk debut. This is a Cape League veteran. He was here with Falmouth last summer for 25 games, and that is exactly a summer of Cape League's work.
That is the 4th time that the leadoff batter has gotten over to first in this ball game. As Williamson shows bunt again, turns around, gives a little sign to the dugout, tell him what pitch he just saw. That's also walk number 7 of the day for the pitching staff of Bourne. Williamson, 1 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. Last time he was up, he grounded out to second base. And a check over at first. Williamson coming off an 0 for 5 performance at Chatham, but in that 0 for 5 performance had a ball that was gone and then brought back by the right fielder, Jackson Freeman, as that one's called a strike, a fastball that catches the zone.
The only game this season where he did not reach base, and that might be the most impressive thing of it all, that he's gotten on base in now four of the 5 games that the Harbor Hawks have played this year.
Yeah. It was a 10-game on-base streak going back to college at UCF going into that game, as he fouls one straight back to Max. Gets up out of his chair.
Ready to make the play, Up like a cat.
There's a brick wall in between you.
We're like an armadillo.
An armadillo. There you go. Williamson again 0 for 3 against 0 for 3 against Brewster. Drew a walk that kept the on-base streak going, and then 0 for 5 at Chatham. He's got a 1-2 count, and it's away. Fastball misses. It's an even 2-2. Runner over at first base. That's Jackson Willits. Williamson, his one hit came in the first inning. He's been cold since that. 2-2. Rips one down the right side. It takes a hop over the head of Weber Niels. Base runner going to third, and Williamson going to second, and they both get there standing up. Andrew Williamson gets his second hit of the day. It's for extra bases, and they're 2 in scoring position for the cleanup hitter, Ray Velasquez.
This one would be ruled a Baltimore chop. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's a high chop from the infield that sails one of the infielders, and that's exactly what allows this ball to dribble all the way down the first base line, not quite to the corner by the foul pole, but for the right fielder, Holcomb. A long run over there with Willits' speed, as we've seen today with the stolen bases. He easily chugs into first, and Williamson's got himself a double.
Ray Velasquez himself has a double in this game. That was back in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2 with a walk and a K. No outs, 2 in scoring position, 5-1 lead. The pitch bounces in, gets away from Smithwick, but he recovers quickly enough to make sure both base runners stay still. Smithwick has been busy behind home plate. A lot of pitches that have bounced into him, but he's done a really good job of blocking pretty much every single one. The only one he didn't block was in the top of the 1st inning when Willits was up to bat, and it moved Matt Mura over to third base. 1-0 count to Velasquez. He fouls one right behind us.
Now they bring the infield in, looking to elevate.
Velasquez DHing today for Mitch Carricker. He's had a good showing so far, trying to keep that going. 5-1 lead, Hyannis in the top of the 6th. 2 on, no outs. And a ball away. The fastball, can't find it. That fastball located pretty well against Williamson and Willits. But to Velasquez, it's missed. Now it's got to be so frustrating when you've got a pitch that's working one at bat, and then a second later, it's just kind of disappeared out of thin air. 2-1. Skips in, a beautiful save from Smithwick. That was right down between in his crotch, where it gets right under the glove. He can scoot back, but he stayed in front of it.
I mean, they really owe their catcher. He saved a lot of runs.
Three-one count, no outs. 2 on, 2 in scoring position. The pitch fouled straight back. It's a full count.
You could see his reaction after that foul ball. Really wants that pitch back. A challenge pitch from the mound.
Full count. What do you go for here if you're the pitcher?
I mean, whatever pitch works for you. Whatever you could throw a strike. If that's the fastball, the changeup, the breaking ball.
Bevis gets a foul ball. Fastball upstairs. Velasquez put it down the right field line.
It also wouldn't be the end of the world if he were to walk, because that puts a force at any base. So I would assume they're going to try to go with the pitcher's pitch, one that you either clip the black or you just miss out of the zone where you can't do damage.
Not going to challenge him with anything here, Max, especially with Velasquez's ability to leave the yard.
And you look at the guy who's on deck.
Miles Bailey in the on-deck circle. A place to put Velasquez. The payoff fouled back again. And that one is going to be a souvenir for a fan.
It's possible for us. It could happen.
So would you rather put Velasquez on first and face Bailey?
I mean, because of the lefty-lefty matchup, I think that would honestly be the more favorable option.
And you factor in the fact that Miles Bailey can strike out at any time with his aggression.
3-2 bounces in, and they do just that. They walk him.
Now with a batter that does have the power to make this a very grand sixth inning. He can strike out because of his aggression at the plate, where he's going to chase pitches all over the zone.
We've talked about his stature already. 6'4", 257-pound rising sophomore at Florida State University. Miles Bailey coming off a game where he had a home run at Chatham. He's 0 for 2 in tonight's ball game with a walk and a strikeout. Got the lefty v. lefty matchup.
He does not skip leg day. Or anything day.
First pitch. Catches the outside of the zone. Bailey not happy with it.
He's really been frustrated over the last few games with those outside corner calls. Not a lot of them have gone his way.
Lou Marinaro locks into the 0-1 pitch. The base is juiced. Bailey hits one to left center field, watching it go. Hughes at the wall, and it drops out of his glove. He had a play, but he couldn't make it. One comes across home, two comes across home, and a third does as well. The base is clear. Miles Bailey, or no, the bases do not clear. It is two. Velasquez only went to second. Bailey over at first. And the errors coming back.
Put the ball in play, and good things happen. Bailey, for starters, a few inches under a grand slam. And in left field, Hughes backs all the way to the wall. He lollygags that catch.
First pitch for Rembert. Hits him center field, and a catch made by LeGrand. One out.
Bailey thought he got it too. You could see him kind of stand and watch it. I mean, the wind is blowing more left to right, so not necessarily out, but it pushed it further towards the left center field alleyway, and that might have kept it in.
Von Lackey coming up to the plate. 0 for 3 on the day with a strikeout. He's got a lot of power, just hasn't had the chance yet in this game to show it. One out on the scoreboard. Hawks at second and first. And he takes a ball up and away. Bailey did look at that pitch. That hit like
I didn't think
it
it was gone, but then just looking at his reaction, I'm like, that's gone.
It was a slow trot as well. You could see some of the Bourne Braves players, specifically the shortstop, look back and point his hand up.
1-0. Lackey puts it on the ground. It can't get past a diving Lewis. Makes the play over at second. Lackey beats out the throw at first. And it moves Ray Velasquez over to third base. 2 outs now.
Now batting from Oklahoma, number
Not
6,
the most productive out because there was one at second, but still a runner 90 feet away.
And that's all Lackey needed to do there is you get another run 90 feet away, as you mentioned, Graham. It's going to reach on the fielder's choice. You go the short way to second for Bailey, try to turn the double play, and you leg it out, and now anything can happen with Jason Walk at the plate.
So the official score says Miles Bailey hits a sacrifice fly, fielding error by left fielder Logan Hughes.
We'll get ready.
Jason Walk swings over the top.
He's got sideline in 6.
Make sure you stick around. One of our producers, Charlie Adams, will join us in the booth for a little more information, breaking down tonight's ball game. Middle of the 6th inning. That coming up. Hyannis leads 7-1. And Rembert takes the first ball of the at-bat. It's 1-1 to the right-hander, who's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a walk. There are runners on the corners for Hyannis. Ray Velasquez at third. Von Lackey over at first. 1-1. Skips in the dirt, gets behind Smithwick. Velasquez trots home, and Lackey gets over to second. 8-1 lead Hyannis with 2 outs and a runner still in scoring position.
The route is on here in Bourne And the error, you mentioned errors is a key theme for this inning and to some extent, Graham, the game. That's the second. That if it scored an error, it would be the third. They already have 2 on their register to the Braves. And in addition to Hyannis' sharp hitting, the free passes have not helped him out at all.
When it rains, it pours.
2-1 pitch. Rembert swings right through it, a high heater that he couldn't catch up to.
And mistakes for a baseball team that you just can't force yourself into. And you talk about errors as the focal point. When you're playing a very similar opponent, we've talked about the symmetry between these two offenses and, frankly, pitching staffs all night long. You just can't have that when they're going to torch you like this.
Pitch fouled off straight behind us. So it stays at 2-2 with 2 outs. And Von Lackey at second base. Jason Walk making his first appearance for the Harbor Hawks in the 2025 summer season. Grounded out his first time up in the first. Struck out his second time in the third. Walked his third time up in the fifth. What can he do? Swings and misses. McKay ends the inning, but still Hyannis gets 3 runs in the 6th and makes it an 8-1 ball game. Now joining us in the booth, our producer, Charlie Adams, has some information for us. Charlie, what you got?
Yeah, thanks, guys. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast and throughout the game yesterday, league-wide off day. It was Fenway Day, and the Harbor Hawks were on full display. Started the afternoon out with some infield, outfield. Saw some throwdowns to second base. Von Lackey, Brody Briggs, and you saw Lackey today get a man at second base. But BP is really where a lot of players got to show off. Saw Drew Williamson, of course, multiple homers to right field. Chris Rembert, back-to-back home runs. One of them to the triangle, deepest part of the ballpark. He's going yard there. Plenty of Harbor Hawks did get acquainted with the Green Monster, but Von Lackey, the only one that I really saw get over the Monster, and as the Monster taking it in, Von Lackey hit that just 2 feet away from us. No play out of our intern, social media cameraman, Owen Wigren, but a very good effort out of these Harbor Hawks. It was another successful Fenway Day, and some of the energy seemingly has brought itself onto the field here in Bourne. Back to you guys.
Charlie Adams, thank you so very much. Breaking down Fenway Day for us. A great day for the Harbor Hawks. Great day for Von Lackey, it sounds like, who took on the Green Monster and was able to take it down. And Owen Wigren, we got to have a talk.
Nope.
Couldn't make
Gotta
that
make
catch.
that.
Couldn't make that
I would
catch.
ask Charlie if there was even an attempt at a play.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't. He was holding his camera.
Did
from
Owen
what I've
attempt to
heard.
make the play?
He did
No,
not.
not even a try.
an attempt.
Render an attempt, Owen.
Looks like we might even have.
Do we have
it
the
on
tape?
video?
Oh, we have the tape.
We
Let's
have
check
the
the
tape.
film.
We're gonna have to break down the play-by-play of this for you all listening. The caption is no hands. It did hit right. Oh man, it came in hot.
Wow.
It came in real
That'd be
hot.
difficult. Screamer.
I don't think I would have made an attempt at that either. I'm not gonna lie. Owen, you're off the hook this time. Top of the order, Peyton Bonds leads off for the Bourne Braves, who trail 8-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch. Hit to center field. Jason Walk. Can't find it. It bounces in front of the left fielder, Matt Mura. And it's a double for Peyton Bonds. Jason Walk just put his arms in the air saying, I can't see it. And just like that, Bonds is on second base.
On this episode of Put the Ball in Play and Good Things Happen, Jason Walk, not to any fault of his, not to any fault of his own, it's getting tough to see out here. These lights, it dims up around the back of the wall in straightaway center field and beyond. And so, just simply, he lost that ball in the air. And again, just as easily as Bourne has allowed Hyannis to compound what's now an 8-1 lead, they could let him back in it with errors like that.
LeGrand fouls off the first pitch. Second time that Peyton Bonds has hit a leadoff double in this ball game. The first one was a ground rule in the top of the first inning that he absolutely pimped. It was originally called a home run, but then reversed. And then in the 6th, he gets a double there.
And that changed the momentum of the game on both ends. Bourne's was quelled.
We've got a balk.
Or a pitch clock violation, something like that. Was it 7? It's going to be a balk indeed, Graham.
It's a balk. Moves Peyton Bonds over to third base. Wow.
First one of those we've seen all season long from the Harbor Hawks.
First one I've seen in a long time. But balks are one of those things, so subjective.
Really comes down, as you said, to the umpire's choice.
Yeah. So 0-1 with no outs to John LeGrand and Peyton Bonds, 90 feet away. First pitch ripped to right field. Andrew Williamson steps into the catch, throws home. The runner tags with ease. Peyton Bonds crosses home plate for the first time. He is the only batter to have done so in this ball game for the Bourne Braves. He did just that in the top of the first and backs it up with one in the sixth, but Bourne still trails 8-2.
Just said, Graham, that mistakes will bite you in the foot, especially whether you've got a lead like that, a 7-run cushion, or any sort of lead you're losing, especially. You just can't have things like that.
Foul tip on the first pitch to Cade Lewis.
Lackey, shaken up after that ball screamed off the bat of Lewis, seemingly right into his lower ankle. Readjusting his feet pads. Yeah, he's limping a bit.
Looks like his right foot. One that you charge up on. Push off is the right-hander. Gives a thumbs up. Seems like he's all right. He has been switching off appearances behind the plate for Hyannis. Switching with Brody Briggs. 0-1 pitch. Dives down low. Call it 1-1. One out on the scoreboard. And now nobody on.
It doesn't feel like it's 8-2. Obviously, Hyannis have exploded in this game, but it does feel like Bourne are back in it at least a bit.
1-1. Nailed to left center field. This time, walk has a beat on it. Center fielder and left fielder going at it. And a catch is made by Matt Mura in left field. Unbelievable catch from the left fielder. As again, it kind of looked like they lost it. The wind was definitely playing a factor, but he made the adjustment and made a basket catch.
And again, it's dark. It's pretty dark in that left center field alley. The location of both of those fly balls, one of them caught, the other not. This time it sends Mura tumbling into the wall, able to hang on to it for the second out.
That pitch was nailed by Cade Lewis, but he comes up empty. It's still 8-2 Hyannis. The Braves have one in the bottom of the sixth, trying to get another. Swing and a miss from Braden Holcomb. He is 0 for 2 with 2 Ks on the day. Hasn't had his best stuff.
Hyannis have only used 2 pitchers. A lefty and a righty, Landman to Roman. Coach Carricker and co would be delighted to only use 3 arms in the game.
Holcomb checks his swing. It's a ball, bounces all the way back to the brick wall. Holcomb went 0 for 3 against Brewster. He did draw a walk, which got him an RBI. Has gotten on base in all 4 games to start his Cape season. Yet to get on base in this 5th game of his Cape season, trying to do just that now with 2 outs on the scoreboard. 1-1 pitch. Cuts right through it. Another high fastball, identical to the one that got him swinging to lead off the at-bat.
So hard to lay off those when it's at the eye level. It just looks so tantalizing for the hitter.
So it's 1-2 with 2 outs. Nobody on. 8-2 lead Hyannis. Bourne scored one just a moment ago. The pitch. Skips in, gets past Lackey. That's 2 wild pitches in this at-bat. It's been 2 beautiful high fastballs that have gotten Holcomb swinging, and then 2 breaking balls that have skipped right past Lackey. Holcomb hitting under 200 for the season. Trying to find some momentum for himself. Deuce is wild. High fastball gets him again. 3 straight high fastballs, 3 straight swings for Braden Holcomb. Hyannis with an 8-2 lead going into the 7th.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference. Leave your mark. Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Top of the seventh inning, definitely not the second, as we are over 2 hours and 15 minutes into this ball game. It has been a long one. If you have stuck with us, thank you so much. Graham Nash, Max Schwartzberg, and Giovanni Collada coming to you live from Doran Park, where the Hyannis Harbor Hawks have an 8-2 lead over the Bourne Braves. And it has just been a steady day of hitting for Hyannis. They're going to try to pick that back up with Jake Schaffner leading off the inning. Schaffner 0 for 3 on the day. Most recently, he flew out. So he's trying to get that bat on the ball, put one in play, as there is a new pitcher on the mound. It is Will Wellen, rising junior at Minnesota. 6'1", 205 pounds. In 2025, had an 0-3 record, 6.75 ERA over 20 appearances. He made one start, but his 19 other appearances were in relief. Pitched 40 flat innings, allowed 41 hits, 35 runs, only 30 of which were earned. Also walked 23 and struck out 40. So for his first inning of work, he faces Jake Schaffner. Going to face 9-1-2 in the Harbor Hawk order. Schaffner gets hit by the first pitch, a slow breaking ball, so he shrugs it off and trots right over to first base.
Second time a Harbor Hawk's been hit by a pitch, and they'll take that, anything to get that leadoff runner on.
That is the 9th free base for Hyannis in this ball game. 8 walks and a hit by pitch. Not a good start for Will Wellen. His sophomore season recorded a season-high 5 strikeouts against Oklahoma, which he will see an Oklahoma player, a Sooner, coming up soon. Matt Mura takes a ball, his 5th time up, the 5th time through this batting order. He went single, walk, line out, single. A great day of hitting. And he spits on the 1-0. That's outside, make it a 2-0 count. Mura going into his senior season at Hawaii, one of the best batters for the Rainbow Warriors in 2025. As he takes another ball, it's 3-0 count. Led in runs, led in hits, second in doubles, tied for second in triples. First in stolen bases, first in walks, first in average, and one more, first in on-base percentage. Team bests. And he takes a strike. It's a 3-1 count. Did a similar thing, he does this a lot. We're on a pitch that's over the heart of the plate. He'll put his arms up, kind of like he's trying to convince the umpire it's a little bit inside.
Nothing hurts. Doesn't hurt to do it, you know.
Got a 3-1 count with Schaffner over on first. And it's a 5-pitch walk. Walk number 2 on the day for Matt Mura. Walk number 10 for the Bourne pitching staff.
Now batting from Oklahoma, number 12, Jackson
Max, I asked you
Miller.
about it earlier. You said, you just got to focus on the next pitch. What's coming next when you're walking a lot of batters like this? But they have really still struggled. They haven't been able to bring it in, to find the zone. None of them have been able to. Just seems like it's one of those nights where the entire bullpen is kind of off.
Well, it's kind of like pick your poison. You either want to give up free bases or give up a extra base hit. And I think that more coaches would rather fill up the zone than try to paint the corners and be fancy with it and just give up all those free bases.
Jackson Willits makes his 5th plate appearance. His 2 singles, 2 walks. Perfect 2 for 2 on the day in his Hyannis debut. Willets from Oklahoma, the team that Whelan had his best appearance against. He cracks one foul down the right side. Willets going into his sophomore season. Played for Falmouth in 2024. 25 games, 27 hits, 15 RBIs, 297 average. Now he's a Harbor Hawk, second straight year in Cape Cod. 1-1 skips in, and a great save again from Smithwick. He has been a brick wall. And unfortunately for him, he's needed to be because the pitchers haven't really found the zone that consistently. It's a 2-1 count with 2 batters on. And what is turning into a long night at the ballpark, creeping up at 2.5 hours in the top of the 7th inning. 8-2 lead Hyannis. And it's a 3-1 count to Jackson Willets. Willets working an 8-game, now 9-game on-base streak to finish his college season at Oklahoma and now begin in Cape Cod. He had a hit in 6 of those 8 games with 4 multi-base hits as he takes a strike. It's full count, or rather 4 multi-hit games. 3 of those came in 3 of his last 4. So he ended real hot for the Sooners and has picked up right where he left off. 2 for 2 with 2 walks on the day. 2 runners on, no out. The Hawks lead 8-2, full count. Hit to short. Schaffner did a good job shading the pitch. Out number 1 at second, out number 2 at first. 6-4-3 double play. And the Braves wipe away a hit by pitch and a walk. Now it is just Jake Schaffner who stands alone on base, but he is over at third.
It's a really good job by the shortstop Waite off a weird hop coming off the infield grass to get through Schaffner shading the runner inside. Get 1 out at second. A quick throw from Molinaro. Molinaro. Ooh, Molinaro. Yeah, Molinaro. Huh? Yep. I don't know what. I was looking for confirmation that I wasn't going insane.
You're not going insane, don't worry.
A giant bug on me.
A lot of cicadas in the area.
That was like the scariest moment of my life.
I sure hope not.
You got him off you.
Bro, get off my bag. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. These bugs are nasty. They're huge. Williamson has a 1-1 count. Don't flick them towards me, dog.
They've harbored themselves on the net here on the first baseline, and with seemingly every foul ball, they've fallen off. Few of them have fallen to their death in the gravel infield.
Whew. All right, you're safe now. 1-1 pitch is low. Andrew Williamson, 2 for 4 on the day. He doubled back in the 6th inning. Swing's looking good. He's looking confident. Still not afraid to show bunt, even though he's got the best power on the team. And he's working with a runner on third. That's Jake Schaffner. 2-1. Taken all the way for a strike. All he can do is nod in approval.
If he can get that pitch working, Bourne's going to be able to get through a lot more innings because that is a hard pitch to hit, that fastball in that low and outside corner. But it's just inconsistent all night. It's there, it's not there.
2-2. Gets him swinging. Double play comes up big as Schaffner gets stranded at third base, and Williamson strikes out for the 2nd time in this ball game. Hyannis leads 8-2 heading into the bottom of the 7th.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Hyannis leads 8-2 over the Bourne Braves. It is 5-6-7 due up for Bourne, starting with Logan Hughes, who is 1 for 2 on the day. He singled back in the 4th inning. It's only the 3rd time through the batting order for Bourne compared to the 5th for Hyannis. That alone, I think, speaks to how this game has gone.
That many looks at a pitching staff, regardless of the changes to pitching, it's going to convolute everything for the pitching staff. And for Hyannis, any ball that's been over the plate is seemingly dropped in play, reflected by the score, but also by their approaches of the plate. It's a lot more discipline than we saw in Chatham, and the theme continues to be that off day placed at the perfect time for the Harbor Hawks.
And Max, 7 strikeouts through the first 4 innings. They've slowed down. I've only had 1 since then, but still, the pitching has been phenomenal.
I mean, just the fact that each pitcher's command over the zone, they're really dominant. They're putting themselves in advantage counts. They have this Bourne team by the collar.
14, Logan Hughes.
Logan Hughes going to lead off, as you might have heard the Bourne PA announcer say. Hughes, the lefty, going up against the righty in Richie Roman. Roman still pitching. And he delivers a strike. The fastball blows right by Logan Hughes. And I mean, when you're pitching like that, definitely don't take out that hurler. I believe it's his 3rd inning of work, or going into his 4th. 0-1. Skips in the dirt. Richie Roman, a tall right-hander, making his 2nd appearance of the season. Went for 2 innings that first time around in the opening home opener against Harwich. Good pitch there, but it just misses. He had a great season at Houston. Only allowed more walks than strikeouts 3 times this season. He is yet to throw a walk in his 2nd appearance. 2-1 to Hughes. Misses, 3-1 count. He was also a perfect 6 for 6 on save opportunities to begin the season with 6 saves in 6 games pitched. Houston won the first 6 games where he appeared, obviously, making those 6 saves, and 7 of the first 8. 3-1 fouled off down the left field line.
And this is pretty standard, it seems, for Roman. This is a guy that's dished 6 scoreless games in this past spring for Houston. The 1 run in the 6th, the lone blemish on his record, but he's navigated this Bourne Braves lineup with a nice variety of pitches.
Full count pitch. Up and away. There's the first walk of the day for the entire Hyannis pitching staff, that only being Brett Landman and Richie Roman. But still, the first batter of the 7th inning, you will take that after a tougher day for Hyannis against Chatham, where they allowed 8 walks.
They cleaned up 2 things that we, I guess, called on them to: early hitting and walks.
And they lead 8-2. First pitch upstairs to Weber Niels. Houston did not have the best postseason run. Lost in the Big 12 tournament quarterfinals to TCU. Lost that game 7-1, and then did not get a bid into the NCAA tournament. So Richie Roman been waiting for the Cape League to begin, as Weber Niels fouls one straight back. But he hasn't missed a beat.
One of the guys that, Graham, I know you and I specifically had this conversation in the first game about shaking off the rust after an NCAA season. For people that have just come from Omaha or from various regionals around the country in the tournament, they might be a bit fresher, but for Roman,
fouled straight back, 1-2.
It would figure that he hasn't played since at the very latest beginning of May, more likely late April.
And these guys are itching to get back.
Right, that's a long time to be off as well. So, and he didn't skip when he got here as well. Doubly impressive stuff from the Houston Cougar.
Going up against Weber Niels. Rising senior at Minnesota, 1-2. Hit into right center field. Andrew Williamson racing to his right. It drops in front of him. Base runners going for multiple bags. It is a stand-up double that moves Logan Hughes over to third base. And there's still no outs on the scoreboard in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Now batting number 45, Campbell Smithwick.
Campbell Smithwick comes up to the plate with 2 in scoring position and no outs. This team has really struggled with runners in scoring position as of late. They got off to a hot start, but then it all kind of came crashing down for them in their last couple appearances. An opportunity to get right back on the wagon for Campbell Smithwick.
If you're Bourne, the rally has started. It has to be finished now.
Swings through the first pitch, a breaking ball that just gets him.
And I wonder when Coach Carricker decides to switch hands in terms of his ace or his player on the bump. No one loose in the bullpen yet for Hyannis. This is the early throws happening now for a righty.
He grounds one to third baseman. Jake Schaffner charges in, makes the throw on the run, and it's away from Bailey. A runner scores, and another gets over to third base. That was a hard play. Could very well be called an infield single. Schaffner just couldn't quite get that on the money to Miles Bailey, and a run scores.
Number 4, Bryce Molinaro.
Very well could be scored in infield singles. This is a chopper that took a perfect spinning bounce to the third baseman Schaffner, who makes the play. His toes were slightly on the infield grass, so he had enough speed to the baseball. Just from a difficult angle, brought Bailey off the bag. And now, if you're Bourne, 8-3, you still got 6 outs, plus, no, 9 outs still. You're in the 7th with no one out. You could very well be back in this with a couple of swings and fortuitous bounces.
Richie Roman and the infielders just spoke on the mound. There was no movement from the dugout, no coaches or managers coming out.
Righty fully in action in the Hyannis bullpen.
So with an 8-3 lead, Richie Roman stays on the bump. No outs, runners on the corners. And Bryce Molinaro takes a strike. And it is called a single. A hard play for Jake Schaffner.
It's the right call.
And I agree with you. It is the right call. It was hit so softly over towards him. He had to really come in far.
And a great play from Schaffner, too, to even get there.
0-1 swung on and missed. Molinaro, all air.
You're going to ask a third baseman for a throw that dips his right shoulder nearly, at a 45-degree angle and make that difficult play. Smithwick able to leg it out as well.
2 quick strikes. Richie Roman ahead. And he just misses outside. Von Lackey thought that was well over the plate. Popped right back up to throw it over to Roman. But home plate umpire Will Bowers says no. So it's 1-2, runners on the corners, no outs. Hyannis leads 8-3 in the bottom of the 7th. Pitch. Hit to left field into the gap. A single for Bryce Molinaro. It brings home Weber Niels and moves Campbell Smithwick over to second base. The best team average in the country starting to find its groove.
That's now 3 straight hits. All 4 hitters have reached base. The walk, the double, the 2 singles. And it seems like a lot of pitches just kind of getting left up over the zone, right by the belt buckle. Easy for that.
What a great piece of hitting there, too, from Molinaro to get in front of a breaking ball that time and deposit it into left field.
Richie Roman stays on the bump. No outs still. And delivers a great first pitch. Striker Wade, a fastball on a similar part of the zone, that bottom half at the knees. Wade 0 for 2 on the day, grounded into a double play his last time up in the 5th. He's just trying to get the top of the order back up with a couple on base. And he will do so. A single up the middle. Jackson Willits could not get on the ball. And the bases are loaded for the top of the order and Barry Bonds' nephew, Peyton Bonds.
That is a bad situation for Hyannis pitching. And promptly out comes Mitch Carricker. Likely going to a righty here, Graham. And if this is a difficult end of the day for Richie Roman. He's responsible for every Brave on base. Yet you can't, if it does result in runs here with no outs, which it would lean that way, it's the lone blemish on a record so far that's been very, very strong for Richie Roman despite this damage.
It's Santiago Garcia coming up for his second bit of action on the Cape. Last appeared against Brewster. We'll give him some time to warm up. Be right back on the Harbor Hawks Network.
Yeah, just go. Run, go. We can cover for you. Yeah. Bro, come on, you had 10 innings.
Santiago Garcia last appeared against Brewster on the 16th of this month, June. Pitched for 1 inning, allowed no hits, no runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. The rising junior at Oregon had a good season with the Ducks. 4.2 ERA over 24 games, 30 innings pitched, so likely, Max, that he's only going to go for 1 inning.
Well, he's kind of damage control right here. Obviously a tough situation, bases loaded, but he's got that swing and miss stuff, and Mitch Carricker trusts him. But yeah, really in this high leverage situation is what the Harbor Hawks need from him.
He's got the bases loaded with Peyton Bonds coming up to the plate. Bonds nearly had a home run in the leadoff spot of this game, so he's got power. You can't give this guy anything to hit.
That's the worst ask possible for Sandy Garcia. We're going to give you their best hitter with the bags juiced, no one out, in a spot that Hyannis seemed to be very comfortable in, an 8-1 lead entering the sixth inning, correct? And now you back-to-back frames with runs for the Braves. And I said it to you then, Graham, I'll say it again. It feels like Bourne is in this game. It never felt like they were out of it, despite Hyannis' barrage of runs throughout the middle innings. And that remains to be the case here with the most dangerous hit yesterday. Now he's got a chance to make a prime impact early in his Cape League career.
It's 8-4 Hyannis with the tying run at the plate in the form of Peyton Bonds, related by blood to one of the best power hitters in baseball history, Barry Bonds. 2 for 3 on the day. His first pitch just misses low. Santi Garcia's hat falls off. He threw it so hard.
Great location there, right at the bottom of the zone, but no budge behind the plate from Will Bowers.
Bases juiced, no outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. The pitch. Right down Broadway for a strike. Great response pitch. Go right back to the zone. Put it down the heart. Blow it by Peyton Bonds.
And if you're Sandy Garcia, that's exactly what you need to do to Peyton Bonds, is respond to his moves. Play the game with the dangerous hitter.
1-1 count. The pitch. Slow breaking ball that locates.
Filthy. You see Bonds got straightened up. He started standing up as if that was going to be very high. It just drops right down the middle. That is not an easy pitch to face.
No outs on the scoreboard. Santi Garcia trying to get the first. And he just misses on the inside, the same pitch that he just threw to Peyton Bonds. It was a beaut, but was just inside. He locks back in for the 2-2. The pitch. High. All the way back to a full count. Unbelievable plate discipline from the DH, Peyton Bonds.
And that's why he's such a good hitter. Yes, he has the power to leave the ballpark, but he is going to amplify mistakes for pitchers, maybe if they're just inches off the plate.
Full count, bases juice. The pitch. Fouled straight back. The fastball. That slider, that breaking ball was working magic against Bonds, but he goes away from it to the heater. Will he do it again here? Bases loaded, no outs. Full count pitch. Swing on and missed. A huge first out. And Peyton Bonds goes back empty.
Well, that's the 9th K for Harbor Hawk pitching, and one of the biggest of the summer maybe for Santi Garcia. You've got the most difficult out in the order at the dish, bases full of Braves, and you go to that disgusting breaking ball to retire him.
Got to think that a pitch in the lower part of the zone is due up for John LeGrand, trying to get a double play with the bases juiced in a 4-run lead. Ball outside. LeGrand 1 for 3 on the day, a single, a sac fly, and a fly out. He's made really good contact with the baseball, has sent a couple to the warning track. He's got a 1-1 count, or 1-0 count, and now it's 2-0. LeGrand in the lefty's box, facing the lefty pitcher, Santi Garcia. The pitch, hit up the middle, stopped by Rembert. He bobbles the transfer, and everyone's safe. Chris Rembert made one of the best plays that we have seen from a second baseman this season. And a couple innings later, he's got an error that lets the 5th run of the day for the Braves score. Baseball is a cruel game. It's a 3-run lead for Hyannis with the bases still fully loaded.
It's also a humbling game, Graham, because as you've mentioned, we've seen Rembert make 2 of the greatest fielding plays I've seen in this league. And then he does that.
First pitch low for Cade Lewis.
To no stain on his record as a fielder at all, because he's made a couple of athletic plays this season in just a short time as a Harbor Hawk. But that's, as you mentioned, the cruelty of the game that can get you in big spots like this.
Lewis 1 for 3 on the day with a single, times called. So both pitcher and batter will set back up for the second pitch of the at-bat. Lewis, that single came all the way back in the first inning, so he's been cold. 1-0. Catches the bottom of the zone. Von Lackey with a beautiful frame.
We talked about the breaking ball location, but how about the fastball location right there from Garcia, going low and inside to a lefty? It's risky with a matchup that's favorable for the pitcher, but he hit it that time.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And a second straight strike on the bottom half of the zone.
Almost an identical pitch, just a shade inside. He keeps going to that. Lewis will have to swing at it eventually, especially down 1-2.
Bases fully loaded with 1 out. 3-run Harbor Hawk lead. Check swing on a breaking ball. He did not go. So it's a 2-2 count to Cade Lewis, but man, Max, they are peppering the bottom of that zone.
Well, he got the swing and miss from Peyton Bonds, and it's that similar pitch getting the almost swing from Lewis. It's definitely enticing swings.
2-2 count. Pitcher and batter ready. Garcia delivers. Breaking ball catches the zone, strike 3. Lewis goes down looking. 10 strikeouts on the day for Hyannis pitching staff. 2 in the last 3 batters for Santi Garcia. And they're 2 outs on the scoreboard. Bases still fully loaded. And the Braves batting around. It's Braden Holcomb. 3 strikeouts on the day, trying to avoid the golden sombrero. But he has not had his best stuff at the plate so far in this one. Gotta hit the reset button and try to hope that he can find something against a lefty that looks confident. First pitch, high heater, catches the zone. Wow. A check swing.
I don't know if he was pointing the appeal, but it looked like he was either calling the strike himself or asking the first base umpire if he went.
Pinpoint location from Garcia.
He is pitching beautifully. 0-1. That breaking ball catches again. He changes speeds phenomenally. That fastball comes rifling in, and then the breaking ball is so slow.
And it's jarring to a hitter to see the heat, and then, yes, the breaking ball at a lower speed, but to have it with that turn as well and movement, it is impossible.
2 outs, bases loaded. Hyannis leads by 3. Swing and a miss. Santi Garcia strikes out the side after the bases were fully loaded for a handful of at-bats. Hyannis still lead. It's 8-5 heading into the 8th inning.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it, players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Top of the 8th inning, Hyannis coming right back to the plate, trying to respond after a 3-run bottom of the 7th for the Bourne Braves that got them right back into this ball game. You've been saying this for a while, Gio. This game is nowhere near over.
No, and for Bourne, it's come off of clutch hitting. We saw a couple of great pieces of hitting to the tune of 4 straight from the 6th through the 9th batter, an error to John LeGrand on a sharp foul ball, or a ground ball, to second base, and Chris Rembert. That allowed the 3rd run to come home, and now it's just a 3-run game. Another rally like that where you put 2 aboard, you bring the tying run to the plate. They've got to do it with 6 outs left. First, it starts with Will Whelan and this pitching staff for Bourne.
Ray Velasquez is going to step up to the plate, lead off. It's 4-5-6 for a Hyannis team that has left at least 1 runner on base in all 7 innings thus far. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and then 1 in innings 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Will Whelan had a strong first inning of work, stranded Jake Schaffner over at third base after he hit him with a pitch to start the inning. Velasquez takes a strike on a breaking ball. He's 1 for 2 with 2 walks, gotten on base in 3 of 4 plate appearances. Unbelievable. He struck out once, but he has had a very strong day coming off of Fenway Day. 0-1. Lays off a breaking ball that this time misses low.
That's another part of the piece of that conveniently placed off day that we're not discussing enough, is that getting to play at Fenway Park, you come off the high of going to America's Most Beloved and doing well for some of the Harbor Hawks. That's got to feel good.
He swings and is late to the 1-1.
And we've seen it translate to the scoreboard tonight. A couple of frames with 3 runs, you have 2 before it in the 6th, the 4th, and 5th. And they're still in command, despite Bourne being within striking distance.
Hyannis leads 8-5 in the top of the 8th. Velasquez takes a ball that bounces in just past home plate. He's coming off his first multi-hit performance of the season. 2 for 4 against Brewster and 2 for 4 against Chatham. So actually back-to-back multi-hit performances for Velasquez. As the 2-2 rings him up, it was high and inside, but just clipped the zone. Velasquez goes back empty, but gives some information to Miles Bailey on his way back to the dugout. As we get caught by the paparazzi, Charlie Adams taking some photos. Hey, he's a sideline reporter, he's a producer, he's a photographer. This guy can do it all.
The man of many talents.
8 strikeout on the day for the Bourne pitching staff.
He caught me eating a burger the other inning. He sent a picture to our group chat. In between innings burger.
Charlie.
Got to get your fuel in. You can't blame a man for that.
Captioned it Max Schwartzberger.
That's awesome. I approve. Miles Bailey is having a tough day, but he makes contact. Sends it to center field. John LeGrand underneath it. Max Schwartzberger. Have you ever gotten that before?
Oh, dude, all the time. When I was growing up. Here's the picture he took.
Yeah, let's see.
Viewers can't see that, but it's mid-bite for Max. Just trying to enjoy his burger. He stoops pretty low for it, but it does create a funny moment.
Man can't even enjoy his burger anymore. Come on, Charlie.
What has the world come to?
Max, the question is, was it worth it? Was the burger good?
I was hungry. It was solid, but, nothing you'd want to get in a restaurant.
Edible.
Yeah, sure.
Ballpark burger. First pitch strike to Chris Rembert. Rembert also had a ground rule double. Advance on a fielder's choice. Walked and then lined out. 2 outs, no one on. The 0-1. Hit to the right side, trying to get down. Holcomb is there in right field. 3 up, 3 down in the 8th. A huge defensive inning for Bourne. They bring their bats up after a 3-run bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the 8th coming up next.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
For the Cape Cod Canal Crew.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Santi Garcia still on the mound against the Bourne Braves, who have all the momentum. They batted around in the 7th. Logan Hughes led off with a walk, and he's got a chance to do something similar. After his walk, 4 straight hits for the Bourne Braves. A double for Weber Niels, a single for Campbell Smithwick, and then back-to-back singles as well for Bryce Molinaro and Riker Waite. This game is by no means over.
And Garcia, despite the difficult situation that Richie Roman put him in, was able to get through it, strikes out the side, and that's been the theme for successful Harbor Hawk pitching outings, is when they are in with their backs against the wall, they seem to find the stuff that produces Ks, and a lot of them often.
Garcia struck out the side in the 7th inning, even though they did bat around. 11 strikeouts for the pitching staff. First pitch breaking ball just misses low to Logan Hughes. The Braves playing in their first West Division game. They're 1-2-1, all of those against East Division teams. 1-0. Pulled down the right side and just goes foul.
The other side of that is that this is the first road trip within the West Division for Hyannis. Interesting that it comes against a team that it very much struggled against last year, Graham. An 0-4-2 record, of which was that playoff defeat that ended Hyannis' 2024.
Just a reminder that Hyannis has not won at Doran Park since June 28th, 2022. Trying to break a long streak of losses. Breaking ball misses up high. It's a 2-1 count to Logan Hughes. The Hawks this year 1-0-1 on the road. The Braves 1-0 at home. So one of those loss columns is going to get a tick after this game. 2-1. Well upstairs on a fastball.
I was just going to say, my apologies, Graham, that I feel like a lot of losing records or streaks have been broken. Brewster won at Falmouth. Brewster won at McKeon Park. It just seems like the narratives have started to change.
3-1 right down Broadway. A huge rip from Logan Hughes, but he's late to the fastball.
He tried to put that to the football field deep and straightaway center, folks. We're talking well over 500 feet. Swings right through it.
Payoff. Misses outside. A second straight leadoff walk for Logan Hughes.
Well, he started the inning last time with a 5-pitch walk. Here it takes him a bit longer. But you get a runner aboard. And for Bourne, we saw this with Hyannis and its comeback against Chatham on Tuesday. If you get the ball in play, good things are going to happen. Think about that 9th inning. Brody Briggs works the walk. You get the error for Ryan McKay to bring the go-ahead run across. You headed to extras in the bottom half of the inning. But that's what happens when you're able to put it in play.
First pitch fastball away to Weber Niels. Niels, a right-hander, the first baseman, is 1 for 3 on the night, doubled his last time up. That's his only hit. But this bottom half of the order, they came alive, fueled this comeback. The top half really struggled against Garcia. This is, however, the first time that the bottom half sees Santi Garcia. Wicked left-hander with a 1-0 count to Weber Niels. The pitch. Fouled straight back. Hyannis trying to move to 2-0 in the West. They're 1-1-1 in the East. 1-0 in the West. That one win against Harwich in their home opener. This is their third road game of the season. Check over at first. Garcia just late to Logan Hughes.
He's lucky he didn't get a balk call on that one. He was already kind of coming home.
That left foot just barely on the rubber. What was a solid pickoff move. Almost got Hughes.
Richie Roman was already called for a balk in this game. That would have been number 2 on the day. 1-1. Breaking ball misses high. All of a sudden, Roman seems to have lost his location with that pitch.
But it's really still cool to see this kind of movement from a lefty where it's a towering 12-6 curve almost. And he has lost the location. If he gets it back, look out.
2-1 with no outs and a runner on first. The pitch. Low.
And to the point about the loss of location with the breaking ball, it's been his downfall to start this inning. We saw he goes up 1-2 to Hughes. 2 misses, and it's 3-2. You miss with a fastball, you put him on base. Now he's down. Now he's up 3-1.
3-1. High 5-pitch walk. Back-to-back walks. And a runner in scoring position. The tying run at the plate.
Case in point, Graham, we just saw it right there. A couple of misses with the breaking ball. You miss with a fastball, which is difficult to do on 3-1, especially that count, the hitter's count. And now you've got 2 aboard with no one out. Brewing a very similar situation to the bottom of the 7th that saw Bourne get back in it with 3.
Hyannis pitching did not allow a walk through the first 6 innings. Since then, they have pitched 3. 2 of those belonging to Santi Garcia, 1 to Richie Roman. That is a quick way to let the opposing team back into a ball game.
Look what's happened. It's an exact replication of kind of the 2 sides to every coin, because then they have the big inning, they get the big hit. Like as we saw, maybe a guy makes an error, Rembert having a great defensive game, and those free passes are just magnified.
If you remember, in the season opener at Wareham, Hyannis didn't have a lot of hits, but they were led into the game because they were walked so much. Something similar feels like it's happening here at Bourne, as the first pitch is a fastball inside to Campbell Smithwick. He had to duck out of the way. And so now we talked about how Bourne was struggling with their walks, but the same has happened for Hyannis. They need to lock back in to this next pitch, next at bat. 1-0. Right down the pipe.
It's about finding location again. Sorry, Graham. And I would think that the fastball is the pitch to start with, because that's missed on each of the last 2 3-1, 3-2 counts. And go to the breaking ball.
1-1. Fastball just low and away. Lackey gave it his best frame job. But it looks like they're going for that bottom half of the zone again. Try to get a grounder into a double play. Hyannis yet to complete a double play, or they had 1 double play in the 5th inning. 2-1 outside. And another batter that's well ahead of Santi Garcia. He's got to throw his best pitch. Smithwick likely has the green light. Runners on first and second, no outs. And a check over at second base. It gets into the outfield. Jason Walk comes in from center to get it, and the runner advances to third. Weber Niels had to stay at first, but Logan Hughes gets himself to third base.
That could be a rare E1, although it might go against Willits. Whoever it's on, again, these are the
pitcher, I would assume,
the exact kinds of things, Max, that you were just alluding to. You work yourself into unfavorable counts against dangerous hitters. You walk a few guys. An error like that is amplified in this spot.
3-1. Flied straight back, and it gets over the net. Crashes into the grass. Almost a great play by a fan off a hop. But the count goes full. Payoff pitch upcoming. Santi Garcia has to lock back in. That did go down as a throwing error by the pitcher. E1, a rarity like you said, Gio. Runners are on the corners with no outs. Hyannis leads by 3 in the bottom of the 8th. The payoff. Swung on and missed, a strikeout. Number 4 of the day for Garcia, number 12 for the pitching staff. That is a huge first out. Now the double play ball can end it. Bryce Molinaro with a chance. He singled his last time up. It was 1 hit on the day. But you feel like with the runner over on first and a runner on third, it's likely that they're going to try for the double play ball. The first pitch right down the pipe. But that's the thing. Max Santi Garcia is pitching well to the middle and upper part of the zone. So do they even bother going to the bottom half?
As long as you can make sure that you're not going to leave it over the plate, you should try it in this situation. It's so crucial to get the roll 2, like there.
Oh, one breaking ball that's inside.
The danger of that is if you miss to a hitter that is able to scoop balls out, that ball's in left field, and you bring one run. You bring one run across, and you get another, and you get the go-ahead run to the plate.
Check over at first base. The throw in time. A great move from Santi Garcia.
He wants it to be a balk, and that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. It just shows how good the move is. The rule is you cannot fully commit your momentum to the plate, so Garcia could look back home a couple times, but as long as this momentum's not swaying towards the plate, he could throw over to first base. And the runner clearly felt it was going towards the plate, but does not matter if J.C. Fernandez doesn't agree.
The wind really picking up, coming out from center field into home. As the dust is even picking up.
He's got a face full of dust.
Watch your eyes.
Yeah, I got glasses on and I still got it in the eyes. It's 2-1 count to Molinaro. The breaking ball missed down. And now Santi Garcia can just lock into this at bat. 2-1. High and inside. Molinaro had to duck out of the way. 3-1. Potentially a green light pitch. Runner 90 feet away for making it a 2-run game. The Hawks lead 8-5. Santi Garcia in his second inning of work. The pitch. In for a strike. Hyannis pitching, known early in this season for stepping up in big moments. None bigger than this one right here, right now for the lefty, Santi Garcia. 2 outs, runner on third. Garcia puts it low, it's a walk.
That location on the breaking ball just isn't there for Garcia. We see the reverse approach with the breaking ball final pitch on 3-2. And if it's not, and Max, you go to the bottom half of the zone, but you don't need the double play ball anymore. Now you've just reverted the situation, albeit with 2 outs.
And now another meeting of the minds, this time on the side of Hyannis. Manager Mitch Carricker coming up to talk to Santi Garcia. And a new pitcher out of the bullpen. Garcia, a really good appearance, but he did let a couple slide. Hyannis leads 8-5. We'll be right back.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Tommy O'Rourke relieves Santi Garcia. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Hyannis leads 8-5. There are runners on the corners with 2 outs for the Bourne Braves. O'Rourke has made one appearance already this season. That was at Wareham on opening day. He was credited with the win. He's got a 1-0 record. He pitched for 2 innings, allowing no hits, no runs, only walked 1 and struck out 2. The graduate from Vanderbilt had a 3.67 ERA in a 4.02 ERA. In his entire summer league career, he's got a combined 3.67 ERA, very strong. But for Vanderbilt, 4.02 this last season, 15 appearances, over 15 2/3. He pitched for Hyannis back in 2022, has worn the jersey before, and he's trying to lift their bats back up to the plate.
One of those appearances for Hyannis in 2022 was the West Division Series in the playoffs against these Bourne Braves. Hyannis did lose the game, as is typical of the last couple years of play between these two squads. But now he's got a chance at redemption against the team he made his last Cape League appearance against before last Saturday at Wareham.
Bourne's bats were real quiet from innings 2 through 6, and then in the 7th, they batted around, got 4 hits in a row for a 3 spot in the bottom of the 7th, and made it an 8-5 ball game in favor of Hyannis. And they've gone walk, walk, strikeout, walk since then, with a pitching error thrown in. First pitch ball upstairs to Riker Waite. 1 for 3 on the day, grounded into a double play, popped out, and then singled back in the 7th for his only hit.
Saw a solid pitch mix from O'Rourke last Saturday.
That one's low and inside for a ball 2.
It looks like he has a slider from our vantage point last Saturday at Spillane Field. Slider, curveball, and a bit of a two-seamer.
Yeah.
Vary the fastball up.
A little bit of sink on it, too.
Including a fastball that dialed up to 94.
Set for the 2-0. The pitch. Skied to center field. Jason Walk coming in. A little miscommunication at first, but he's able to make the play and get out of the inning. Hyannis able to escape what looked to be disaster early on with back-to-back walks. It is 8-5 still, the Harbor Hawks lead going into the 9th.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
To you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Hyannis leads 8-5 over Bourne on the road. Let's take a look around the league, see how other teams on the Cape are doing. Wareham currently taking down Harwich 5-2, bottom of the 9th inning. Harwich down to their last 2 outs. Also in the bottom of the 9th, YD leads 4-2 over Orleans. Orleans down to their last out. Of course, Hyannis and Bourne, it's 8-5 in the top of the 9th, and then in the middle of the 7th, Cotuit leads Chatham 2-1. Also, Cotuit on the road. The road teams are having a good week, a good day so far. But the one home team to get the win, Brewster, took down Falmouth 6-4. That game is over. Brewster 5-0.
I was about to say, how about the Caps leading the East Division after they didn't win a game in the final 17 days of the season last summer?
Wow.
Things are different for Jamie Shevchik and Brewster.
It's the beauty about the Cape League ball is it's a new team every year. As Von Lackey leads off the inning. Takes a ball outside. Lackey 0 for 4 on the day. Reached on a fielder's choice. Pitch. Swings right through it. Last time he was up was the 6th inning. For a while there, he was pretty much coming up and back doing so well. But now it's been a while. Swing might feel a little cold, a little tight. 7-8-9, due up for Hyannis, starting with Lackey here. 1-1, skied down the right field side. Weber kneels in foul territory, comes back and makes the grab. The wind blew it all over the place. It started foul, came back fair, and the first baseman still makes the play.
You saw something like that back in the first inning, but that one fell in foul territory and gave the Harbor Hawks new life. But a good job, great recovery at first base by Weber Niels to read the backspin and come back into fair territory to make the grab.
Sets the table for Jason Walk, playing in his first game of the season for Hyannis. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. Whelan serves a fastball high. Walk checks his swing. The center fielder has had a lot of action in center field, even had a play where he lost it midair because there's kind of this dark alley out in the outfield. Hits one up the middle, and he has his first base hit of his 2025 Cape League season. That is the first hit for Hyannis since the top of the 6th inning when Andrew Williamson tagged a double. And just a patient plate appearance. Waited on a breaking ball, sat back, delivered it opposite field. As the wind blowing all of our things, all our pieces of paper all around. Sets the table for Jake Schaffner. Check over at first. And Walk in there safely. Schaffner 0 for 3 was hit by a pitch his last time up in the 7th inning. Schaffner playing third base tonight. 1 out on the scoreboard. Runner goes. Pitch is high. It's a ball. The dive into second base. They got him.
That is huge for Jason Walk, or rather for Campbell Smithwick. First of all, for his confidence with all the things that have befallen him behind the dish tonight. A couple of errors, but he's been asked for so much, yet also for the Braves as they try to send the tying run to the plate in the 9th.
Now 2 outs after Walk tried to get himself in scoring position for Jake Schaffner. Schaffner takes a strike on the lower half of the zone. Schaffner did not play at Chatham after an 0 for 4 performance against Brewster at home. Trying to re-find his rhythm. 1-1. Locates again. Back-to-back strikes from Will Whelan. And he is currently winning the lefty v lefty match. 1-2. Hit to third. Takes a weird hop. A great play from Lewis. The throw, not in time. Schaffner with 2 outs on the scoreboard gets what will likely go down as an infield single. But we'll have to wait for the official call. Back to the top of the order, Matt Mura, who has a 2 for 3 day with 2 walks. And Schaffner does get a single. His first hit of the ball game, his first hit.
Difficult play for the third baseman. I think that is an apt ruling.
Schaffner very quick on the base pads. A good one to have running in this scenario. Mura cracks the first pitch to left center field. Logan Hughes going back. It's gone! And it's called a ground rule double. For a second time in this ball game, a home run, or a thought to be home run, is taken away. And Matt Mura just with a big smile on his face.
That could very well be the difference in this game if Will Whelan is able to get this out. Before we look ahead, let's look back to that swing from Mura. It serves up the fastball. Beautifully timed. There's some things, some swings that you love to see from Matt Mura. Just a perfect swing. Just a shade under it if you're going to be critical and nitpicking. But, man, that is a tough break for Mura and for Hyannis, and a golden opportunity for Bourne.
Jackson Willits takes a ball bouncing in. There are 2 still in scoring position, but there are 2 outs, so there's no room for error for the bats of Hyannis. They've got an 8-3, 8-5 lead, but Bourne has really found momentum on the base pads. First strike the at-bat to Willits. It's 1-1.
And with that bouncing over, that it does not allow Schaffner to score. So it's a big break for the Braves as well.
Yeah, it would have even been better for Hyannis if it hit off a wall and settled there in the outfield. It would have given Schaffner a chance. Instead, he stays at third. 1-1 is low and away. Willits has had a phenomenal first appearance for Hyannis. 2 for 3 with 2 walks. Singled in his first 2 plate appearances, but is coming off a ground ball into a double play. He's got 2 runners on, both in scoring position. 2-1. Swung right through it. There are 2 outs on the scoreboard. A switch hitter in the right-hander's box facing the lefty. Jackson Willits ready for his deuces wild. It's upstairs. The count goes full.
If you're Willits, bat is on the shoulder here at anything you think you would chase, because Williamson stands on deck, and that is a prime opportunity to render the gaff with Mura's double, home run, whatever it is, the ground rule double, render it meaningless.
Payoff. Bases loaded. And bases loaded for none other than Andrew Williamson, like you said, Gio. The best power hitter on this Hyannis team.
Now batting for Central Florida, number 13, Andrew Williamson.
He led his team in home runs, that being UCF, led his team in on-base percentage, led his team in doubles and triples as well. 53 RBIs. He's got 3 already this season. He takes a ball low and away. Williamson got a hit his first time up, a double back in the 6th. Other than that, it's been 2 Ks and a ground ball. He's had some trouble getting it in the air. A lot of his hits have been on the ground as of late. 1-0. Checks his swing on a strike. Bases fully juiced. Jake Schaffner at third, Matt Mura at second. Jackson Willits just walked to get himself over to first base. Hyannis leads 8-5 in the top of the 9th inning, trying to find that insurance run. Williamson swings on a ball to center field. John LeGrand makes the out. Will Whelan gets out of the bases loaded jam and gives his bats a chance. 3-run lead for the Harbor Hawks going into the bottom of the 9th.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Bottom of the 9th inning, Hyannis only leads by 3. They have led all game long, but the Bourne Braves have the momentum at the plate. Reminder that this broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. It will be 1-2-3 due up for Bourne, sitting in the place in the order where they would most like to be at this point in the game, leading off with Peyton Bonds, who had a tank of a ground rule double his first time up, struck out his second time, doubled in the 6th, and then struck out again in the 7th.
Now batting from
Matt Kay in the 7th inning was with the bases loaded. Santi Garcia came in his first plate appearance, took down Peyton Bonds, and a huge out for Hyannis. And it looks like it's going to be Tommy O'Rourke's job to bring the ball game home. Delivers a ball inside. Bonds, absolutely defined as a power hitter. 10 doubles, 40 RBIs. And he takes a strike on a breaking ball. That pitch has gotten a lot of these Bourne Braves looking in this ball game.
We have really sharp, tight movement on it, especially right on right. That's tough to hit, tough to square up.
1-1. Just misses low.
Doubled up, though. I'd like to see that. Shows he's got confidence in it.
300 batting average at Rutgers this past season for Bonds. Checks his swing on a high heater. He did not go. Bonds, this is his first official game batting. He pinch ran in their last game against Brewster. It's the pitch. Gets him swinging way out in front. That was an excuse me swing. He just whiffed. Full count. No outs in the bottom of the ninth. Hyannis leads by 3. The pitch. Gets him swinging. Huge first out of the inning. Retiring Peyton Bonds.
Now batting from
13 strikeouts for Hyannis tonight. It's just been, it's almost as if you can pencil in double-digit strikeouts as a pitching staff every night. It's so impressive.
Up to 60 flat with that one for the season.
Double digits in all but one game, I believe.
Chatham, right?
Yep. LeGrand throws down a bunt, but it goes foul down the left field line. He has got a lot of speed.
Didn't get the memo. It was a foul ball. Ran all the
was,
way across.
He was legging it out.
Not a bad idea, though. All you need is a base runner, a bloop and a blast. Get you within 1, and he's a speedy guy. Anything in the alleyways. Ooh, as Lackey stood at the bat right on the plate.
He did. We saw that earlier on the other side.
Return gesture to Campbell Smithwick.
LeGrand stole 33 bases in 2025 at St. John's on 30 attempts. Had a 368 average with 68 hits over 52 games. He digs back into the lefty's box. Tommy O'Rourke stares him down. 0-1. High. Good fastball that just didn't quite clip the zone. O'Rourke has that nice breaking ball working. 1-1. He doesn't go to it, right back to the fastball, and it's fouled.
Very emotional in the box, kind of hopping around after foul balls, and sometimes that can honestly give pitchers an edge because they know that they got you hooked, and maybe O'Rourke uses that as a confidence boost.
1-2 count. LeGrand choking up on his bat. He has been all at bat long. Like you said, Gio, just put something in play. 1-2. Down in the dirt. Good take.
This seems obvious. It's because it is. You got to get the tying run to the plate, and that would change philosophy here for LeGrand. We saw the square to bunt early in the count. Now with 2 strikes, that is obviously completely out of range.
Deuce is wild. Away. It's full.
I see a similar tendency in LeGrand to Jason Walk, where he is a bit twitchy in the box, and that's could just be how he's done it his whole life.
Tendency,
right.
I would say. I mean, it's different if they miss a foul ball and they go, darn it.
Amplified in this moment.
Payoff. Fouled. We'll do it again.
See it again there. He hits his bat against his helmet. This is clearly different from Walk in that he is visibly showing his frustration.
This is a good baseball game.
Showing his competitiveness. These teams want to win. Only the 5th game of the season. Payoff again. Fouled again in the same exact spot.
That fastball probably up and away, but too close for comfort. Good emergency swing. Just stay alive. He's just trying to hunt his pitch, something he can do damage with. Get some speed on the bases.
You leave the bat on the shoulder here, and you take the walk. It's just as good as putting it in play.
Lefty v righty. LeGrand puts one on the ground. Second base, Rembert gets the second out of the inning. Hyannis 1 away from closing out the 8-5 victory for the first time on the road at Doran Park since 2022.
Wake Forest, number 23, Cade Lewis.
Right after he contacted that, you could hear him go, "Oh my," as he was running to first base. So very vocal, and Hawks went out away.
Wore his heart on his sleeve. Sets up Cade Lewis. The last chance. The Braves in need of 3 runs to send it to extras. First pitch sent it third, and it's caught by Jake Schaffner. Hyannis break the streak, win their first game at Doran Park since June 28th of 2022, and their first game against Bourne in general since August 7th of 2024. Max, all signs point to the K's. 13 strikeouts. The pitching, again, phenomenal. It can't get any better than this for this team.
I mean, at the end of the day, whether you're a Bourne fan, whether you're a Hyannis fan, baseball won tonight. What a game it was all the way across the board. Harbor Hawks offense comes out strong, but as you mentioned, Graham, the pitching continues to lead the way. The strikeouts, unbelievable. And at the end of the day, we just watched a dang good baseball game.
Gio, the resiliency as well. They started off hot, 3 in the first inning, and then went a little bit quiet towards the end of the game. Bourne started to show some real heat and momentum, but they were able to somehow still shut it down.
And credit both sides with the resiliency there, Graham, because Bourne was well out in the water in this game. You get let up 3 in the first frame. It gets to be an 8-1 ball game at one point before the Braves mustered a few runs back. They made it interesting for the first out to the last. And that's consolation for Scott Landers and company as they try to navigate the West Division, but it's Hyannis extending its 3-1-1 record atop the West Division as they seek a repeat of the regular season title.
The Hawks are now 2-0 in the Western Conference, 3-1-1. Like you said, Gio, that is going to do it for today's broadcast of Hyannis at Bourne. Tomorrow, the Harbor Hawks back in action at home against Wareham, the team that they saw and beat on opening day. But for us, now on the Harbor Hawks Network, that is going to do it. For our entire production staff, Sam Montag, Charlie Adams, and Daniel Bottolino. For our sideline reporters, Ethan Wax and Ava Fernandez. My partners, Giovanni Collada and Max Schwartzberg. I am Graham Nash saying so long from Bourne.
I think, Dean, they're allowing you to find your own success and your own true independence.
Dean is a whole group of all different kinds of people and communities.
Since I've come to Dean, I've learned a lot of time management skills.
Our community is especially tight-knit, and the majority of our students live on campus. And you are guaranteed 4 years of housing while you attend Dean.
Dean is just full of opportunities for you to embrace, to welcome, so you can change yourself to who you want to be and form your career for the future.
So go through that, all right? Think that way.
Be a bulldog. Have a bulldog mentality in everything you do in life, whether you're playing sports or in the classroom or just socializing around campus.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.